Oh, wait. I think I fixed it. Hello, hello. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dan. You are the true MVP. I didn't need to hear all that. You're making me embarrassed now.
Paris?
Oh, there's JW. No, we were just testing out the audio.
Okay.
How's
I
it?
was like, I just entered. What did I do?
No, actually, I was playing everything I said like really loud. So.
Making
Oh, how's it going?
you self-conscious.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get it. How's it going, buddy?
Good, you?
Ah, not too shabby. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, this whole 2 weeks thing really fucked me up, as when was the stuff, then I was busy with other stuff.
Oh yeah, no
And
worries.
here I am.
And plus, was it last week we were supposed to have it, and that was kind of I think what threw everyone off too. So then I had to cancel
Oh,
it.
that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, either hi there, hold everybody. This is the Two Tired Dudes podcast. On this episode, obviously, like I was just saying to JW, it's going to be a little bit of a recap and catch up because it's been a while. On top of that, um, oh my goodness, gosh, where are they now? Yeah, so our topics of discussion were going to be one, I was curious what everyone's thoughts were on follow for follow. I had an interesting discussion recently with someone on Twitter about the concept of follow for follow, and I guess just kind of like how people feel about it. Like, is it a right strategy to have? I know a lot of people are very passionate about being able to talk to their community. Obviously, we are too, but kind of what I was getting into in that conversation is that there is a certain point you will reach where you won't be able to have that genuine conversation or that relationship that you had with maybe your first 50 100 viewers. Like eventually it will change into a point where you almost are doing a follow for follow. um,
Explain what is follow for follow.
so it's like, like let's say you were just starting off on Kick or Twitch, right? And maybe you just wanted to grow your viewers fast because you want to hit the affiliate level when more options open up to you, right? Like not just payment, but you can also do emotes. There's a bunch of other like little features. I think your video log gets saved longer and stuff like that. So a lot of people just do that just to hit affiliate, right? So it's like I'll follow
Right.
you in exchange you follow me. And then most cases people don't watch each other's streams and that seems to be um or interact with the other person, which seems to be where a lot of people get like kind of hurt over. But like when I was talking to this one individual, I said, yeah, but like that's fine if you don't believe in that and all that jazz. But there is going to be a point in your progress here where you're going to have that same element. You're not going to be able to have a conversation or be able to watch all 500 of your followers, right? If they're all streaming and stuff like that, like everyone reaches a limit. It's just part of part of being a human. Like you know what I mean. We
For
can
sure.
we can only have so big of a social circle. So yeah. So anyway,
Well, it depends. Oh, it depends really of how you treat it, right? If you treat it as a transaction, as your career, what is required for your career and all that, then sure, I guess follow as much as follow the other as you want. But there's also, I find it a bit disingenuous as well, right?
of
Where
course.
you don't necessarily like the content, but you'll follow just to get a follow.
Yeah, and like
Sort of weird.
no, I get that, right? And that's what I was trying to explain to that person too. Is that everyone has like a different goal, right? Like, like I don't do that. When I first started, I thought that was the trend, and I did that in the beginning, of course, like most people do. And you realize, shortly after, like, hey, I'm not really getting the value I want out of this. Or maybe you are a person, like you just said, where you're very career oriented and you don't really care about who's following you. You just want to hit those milestones, right? So you can start progressing to affiliate partner and etc. Um, And like basically, I was telling the guy, it's like it's okay. Like both pathways are fine. I mean, that's the beauty of life, right? You don't have to follow that person. You don't have to interact with that person if you don't agree with their philosophy or life. That's just who they are. You're not going to be able to change that. I guess the main reason we got into such a big conversation about it is because it is kind of a hot thing on Twitter every once in a while. Every streamer will have that point, right, where they go like, oh, I hate follow for follow, or they'll what's another common one? They bitch about bots, or they complain about someone hopping onto their stream and wanting to play with them right away, or not getting a chance to talk with them. I don't know. To me, these are like usually the common complaints I see from fellow streamers. Which, I mean, they're all legit. They all have their own purpose and point. But yeah, the main one was the
Yeah,
follow.
no, well, I agree. I mean, I've always been sort of against it, but also I'm not a streamer. I
Yeah,
just I just find it's a weird practice. It's a bit like tipping, which I do, but I've always felt uncomfortable and weirded out that you need to tip everything in North America, right? For any service, anything, you
yeah.
need to have an extra thing. It's not included.
I agree. Yeah, I find it very weird that we got to that point now where it's literally just put in um, with whatever you're purchasing. What's a big one for that one? Like skip the dishes and all that. I know they'll just automatically add it,
Oh,
which I get. They're traveling, they're making a distance, right? Which is fine. But that was like I think the first time I actually experienced something where it was just
oh yeah,
automatically
but
added.
I mean, now you walk to Subway and they ask you to for a tip.
Yep.
Like you're not the delivery guy or anything.
No, yeah, you're just literally standing there, making a sandwich or
I
whatever.
mean, you're paid to do that, and I'm sure it sucks. I wouldn't want his job, but also I don't think it deserves a extra tip necessarily, right?
Which,
And I mean, we used to do it well socially, I guess,
yeah,
for to show that it was a cool and a great service. Now it's
yeah,
just frowned upon if you don't. It's
yeah.
like you're obligated to give a like.
Um, oh, what's that movie that did it so well? I think it was Reservoir Dogs when they had that conversation in the beginning about
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right. I mean, that's such a good conversation though, like to have about the subject, because it is true. Like a lot of people jump to that, like, oh, it's like, well, I'm a single parent or whatever X excuse is going to be, right? Why you need to tip that person, or the company isn't giving them a livable wage, right? It's like, well, it's like that doesn't mean that falls on the consumer, like that falls on the company to step up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. The other one I'm trying to think of is I don't know if you experienced it or not, but I haven't ever noticed that in a retail setting, which is funny because in retail, mostly every company I've worked for, right, they're very strict on that policy. Like if someone does want to tip you for whatever service you might have done for that person, right, like whether it's taken out to their car or maybe you did something that was above and beyond, um, you're supposed to decline it, and you're supposed to be very forceful in that decline. Like, hey, if I take this, I actually will get in trouble, kind of thing. Which is funny, right? Because now we're, like you just said, we have a lot of businesses out there where tipping is almost expected, but in retail, right, we're still in the behind the times at
Well,
least.
not in Quebec at least.
I was curious.
The
Okay, so it is different there.
the people that do the bags get tips.
Wow. Okay.
And but otherwise it's true that there's not a sort of, I guess, not mandatory, but a screen asking you if you want to tip the cashier. There's not that. That's true in retail.
When it comes to the bag person, like, is it just part of your transaction, or do you give it to the bag person themselves, like the tip if you want?
Yeah, yeah, give it to the bag guy.
Oh, okay, okay.
But as I guess if you have loose change, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a machine with him.
Yeah, of course. No, that makes sense. Oh, and that's kind of a cool concept to think about because I can't even think of a single store I have here in Manitoba, where there is a bag person still. So that's really cool. You guys still have that in your stores.
It depends who. Um, I know Metro has a lot of bag people that help do the bags and all that, but I don't think it's the same for like every grocery stores.
That's one too I'd love to go see. I know when I went to Ontario for a business trip, everyone kept mentioning that store, Metro. I was like, man, I have to check out this thing. I want to see what it is.
Wait, Metro is not common in Manitoba?
No, no, I know. I was shocked too. Like, it was like when I went there, right? Like everyone was talking about. I was like, what the hell is Metro?
Oh, it's like the biggest grocery chain after Loblaws, or on the same level as Loblaws
Wow.
in
Okay.
Canada.
That's okay. I'll have to look
So
at this.
that's why people are probably making a big deal out of it. But
Yeah.
it depends where you are as well. I mean, there are some Metro stores that sucks,
Oh,
and
really?
there's some that are very well managed.
Like for us, I mean, I know they're all kind of owned by Loblaws, but we have like our two big ones here would be, I'd say, definitely Superstore, and then No Frills. And then you got like the American ones that came in, like Walmart and Save on Foods and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Huh. I'll have to check that one out and see where their other Metro locations are. Um, Yeah, yeah, but JW, I know you've had some exciting playtime recently compared to me because you've actually played some newer games that came out. So what have
Yes.
you been up to the
Well,
last three
I've
weeks?
oh man, I've been doing a various amount of gaming actually. Um, I've played actually a good amount of Atomic Heart that was
Oh,
very fun, very good. If you remember, it's the sort of Russia communist heaven that goes bad, and that you go through multiple facilities of killing robots and finding abilities and stuff. That came out a couple of years ago.
yeah, yeah. I think last time you were talking about it, you just kind of started to dip your toe into that game. You were enjoying it, but yeah, I think you were just starting off, maybe the first few hours or whatever it would have been.
Yeah, and well, I haven't played in a while now because I've been also playing Dragon's Dogma 2. But um, last time I played, it was still very good. I mean, I was sort of surprised because it's like, you know, um, levels, big levels, right? Level designs and corridors, and it's a lot of facilities you're doing. And then at some point, it sorts of open up, and there's a bunch of smaller facilities that you go through, and it changes a bit of how you approach the gameplay.
So is it a linear game or is it like open world?
So it becomes like open levels if you want,
Oh,
more
okay.
so than open world. But the it you start off linear and then it opens up into bigger, more open levels with facilities that you go through. So it keeps changing between the two. I've got like 15 hours into the game and it's still very good. But I got distracted at some point with Helldivers 2 when it came out.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you were really into that one.
Yep, it's very good. Very buggy, but very good. And no, I'm not talking about the bug faction in Helldivers 2. I mean, there's actual bugs, but game-breaking bugs. But like you get stuck in, let's say, in the level, or you get thrown all the way out of the skybox, and a bunch of different stuff that just kills you or that blocks you from gaming. You know, get sometimes you get stuck in the pods, and there's a bunch of bugs like this. But it could also be my computer because I have a very old computer, but these seem like game bugs and not because of my computer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did see that one like kind of being a hot topic when it came to the game on Twitter. A few people were saying that yeah they had some issues with performance or sorry bugs in the game itself.
But the game is very fun. It's very worth the price. Being as well not that high. It's like what, 40 Canadian dollars,
Yeah,
I think.
like see, I know a lot of people are hyping it up and hoping that it'll appear on Xbox, but like I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Nope.
I think PlayStation's gonna enjoy this gravy train for a while on that game.
For sure. At least for a year, for sure.
Yeah, I was feeling the same way. I was like, maybe after a year they'll let it pass over, but yeah, right now it's just not.
Less than that, there's no way.
Yeah, like right now they must be making a killing on sales with that game.
I mean, it's true that I think they would make more if they ported to Xbox, you know, because there's still a part that goes to PlayStation since it's a PlayStation game.
Yeah,
But also they want to, um, justify exclusives, right? So
yeah.
they'll at least have it for a year, at least, if not more,
And long term, right?
until
You have to have a PlayStation, so there's a little bit of profit if you don't have one. I mean, I don't see
yeah.
Helldivers 2 being the game you'd buy a PS5 for. Maybe it is. And then you also have to, like you said, buy the PlayStation membership, right, in order to play online. So there's value keeping it on the PlayStation right now.
Well, they were smart in putting it on the consoles and PC because I would have never played it if it was just released on
Oh,
PS5.
I didn't realize it was on PC as well already. Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it came out on both PC and PS5 dual launch, and so no, that was a very smart move, especially with the overcapacity servers problem that they had for a while,
Yeah.
where there were just too many people and not enough servers to handle the traffic. And so yeah, no, I would say my only gripe with Helldivers 2 is that my favorite weapon I've unlocked it extremely early. So every weapon after that just felt a bit less or not as exciting as let's say the what is it? Not the Punisher, but yeah, the Punisher is one of the weapons I liked as well. Anyway, all my favorite weapons I unlocked them quite early on. So it made it that later on when I unlocked new stuff, it wasn't as good or as fun. But it's a minor gripe. In terms of gameplay, it's an extremely fun squad shooter.
When you level up, is it just like guns that you're unlocking, or do you have anything else to look forward to?
Leveling up is just rank. For unlocking guns, you need to use war bonds, which is something that you get by doing the missions.
Oh,
And
okay.
and actually you do operations. So it means you do set of missions. So for example, you can do individual missions, but you will get a bonus of war bonds if you do the set of 3 missions, for example, a bonus of war bonds if you do all of them without failing. So it's more like you do operations of multiple missions.
Okay. I'm also kind of like I said, I haven't watched too much of the gameplay, so I can't say confidently. But I am impressed too because I haven't seen anyone really say that they felt like the game is repetitive, or that you're like kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Because that is a challenge, right, with those kind of games. It's like after like let's say the finals, for example, after you've done it so many times, right, you kind of memorize the map, locations and all that other kind of jazz. But yeah,
Yeah, I fell
it's
off hard the finals actually.
yeah, I know, me too. Like
Because
if someone was to say they want to play it, I definitely would, but I'm not gonna go out of my way now to play it with randoms or anything like that.
yeah, same. And I think it's because the novelty of the level destruction sort of wore off.
Yeah,
Like I don't think the gameplay is as strong as the level and level destruction of the game.
exactly. Yeah,
Because when I think of my favorite thing about that game, it's the levels and the destruction that you can use and all that. It's not the characters, it's not the gadgets, it's not any of those things, right?
yeah. The
So
characters really didn't have enough, to stand out. With just the three classes that they had.
yeah, well, the whole style of it is all about the chasing the clout and being the
Yeah,
most popular, and it's all that sort of style. And I mean, it's part of the storytelling of the universe and all that, but it's not captivating, I find.
yeah. No, I agree with you. I said that's I said
Like
why I kind of giving hell.
it's trying to be stylistic, but it's somehow misses a lot of style. It's
That's
very
true.
bland.
That's very true. Yeah.
Like I would love to see that type of game, but not with the final. I mean, that type of level and level destruction with another game, because I'm not into. Even though the style of the game is somewhat original, like there's not a lot of similar stuff. The most similar, I would say, it's the bank mode in Titanfall 2,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's still not the same as that. So it's an original game, but somehow it's bland.
I know what you mean because you were talking about that too, right? It made me think of Crackdown. And that's another game I wanted to try out, but I like it's. I mean, again, like it's cool to destroy a level and to have that kind of mechanic in a game. Um, but I don't know. Both those games, like you said, it just doesn't hit the marker still with
I
it.
think Crackdown is a subject of its time,
Could be too. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
and what I mean by that is it was quite novel when it came out. Something like this, it was like unheard of, impossible, right?
Yeah.
And that novelty sort of created the mystique behind that game. But I don't think they are very good game per se, because I've tried them and I've played them, and but no, I wasn't in this whole hype and the whole marketing behind it and all that, right?
Yeah.
It was after the fact, and there's nothing remarkable really with Crackdown 1 and 2. They're very different both, and yet somehow they both didn't captivate. Me, I should say, and captivated a couple of people, diehard fans.
Oh
But
yeah. Like
I think like I say, it's subject of its time, and that it will never recapture this.
that's very true because, like, you think about it, right? When you were playing older games, like, say that was a 360, right? So I'm even thinking going back to the PlayStation 2. I know that was a very common thing. I think a lot of us did, right? We tried to see what you could destroy, what you could blow up, and it was always exciting when you could actually like destroy a building, right? I was like, oh my god, I can actually do damage. Yeah,
I think as well, it was one of the first games. I might be wrong here. I think it might Crackdown 2 might have been one of the first Xbox Live games for 360, but I could be wrong.
yeah,
So that probably helped it, because gaming online wasn't something on console before Xbox Live, really. So that must have helped it as well, right?
I'm trying to think. Did no? Did Xbox? Yeah, Xbox 360 launched with a live service, right? I think it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was yeah, because you could do it on the OG Xbox. Okay, I was just trying to think. I was like, did online start that late to the game? And I was like, no. I think the paid subscriptions though, that's like paid to play online.
Yes,
That's when that was kind of coming into factor though.
yes, the big scam.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Because I remember on the PS2 you could just do it and there was no cost or anything.
PS3 neither, and PC neither. It's just thank you Microsoft for implementing this, and now Sony copied Microsoft because they saw they were making a bunch of money like this. They were like, look at those idiots that are paying for online.
So true though. Oh, yeah. um
And now they have to justify it by giving you games and
yeah, right.
whatever
Oh,
that
don't
they can,
worry.
but they don't know what to give anymore.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, PlayStation still does it, but Xbox ended up backing out of that. They took away games for gold, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, so you don't even get your free games a month, right? Or at least PlayStation still does that option.
Oh yeah, no, because now you have Game Pass. That's why.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like here, we'll give you this in exchange for that. Um, which is funny. I noticed. Was it when they did that change around, you could still keep all the games you had with games for gold, but there was like one time I think I wasn't able to pay my membership on time. And back in the day when you had it, right, it let you have those games, like even if you didn't have pay for the membership or whatever, you could still play the games that you downloaded with games for gold. But now I noticed they changed that, so if you don't pay your membership you just lose all that collection. that you
Oh
download.
wow.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, wow, you really got that cheap with it? Like, I'm not sure if PlayStation's on the same side. If you don't pay your membership, if they take away all the ones you had.
Probably, yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
don't think you own any of those games.
yeah, that's true. Um, yeah. So sorry. Dragon's Dogma 2. How's that journey
That's
been?
true. So I was doing the in chronological. So when blah, 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 Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, I fell off Helldivers completely. I've just been playing Dragon's Dogma 2 nonstop, and it's great. I've been loving it. For me, this is sort of my Breath of the Wild type game where
Ooh.
you can pretty much go anywhere, explore anything, and you'll always find something. So it's very good with exploration. There's always something around, and it's very good. Um, I have to say that um, it's much easier than the first one. So if someone is expecting a challenge, they'll be extremely disappointed. I personally think it's a better for in that regard because the first one had an enormous difficulty spikes here and there that made no sense. Like you would take a right turn and suddenly the wolves would one shot you, and if you took a wrong turn, right? And in the second one, I think they've made a better way to onboard people, new players, and make it uh, easier and accessible.
Yeah, so I liked, I know you made the comment and a few others have too, where this is the kind of game, like you guys said, where you can literally just skip the first one, go into the second one, and you'll be fine. And actually,
Oh yeah, for
you
sure.
might even have a better experience by starting with number two.
Yes, I totally agree. It plays better. It's basically better in every regard than the first one. I find even story wise. I find it somewhat interesting. Now, I seem to be the only one that find the story interesting because I keep hearing people saying that they find it boring and dull. But I don't know if it's because it's the story or if it's the presentation. Because it's not big cinematics moment. It's like a bit in Yakuza, where you talk to an NPC and then you have like this sort of far away camera looking at this uh, dead-eyed NPC talking,
Okay.
and you have a bunch of different main quests that you get at the same time, and I think you might get lost in knowing which is the main quest and which is the side quest. So it might be in that regard, maybe I think that's why people are not following or liking the main story.
I know when I
At the
asked,
same time, I'm still at the beginning.
yeah.
I mean, I say this, I've put 50 hours in it, but I feel I'm
Wow.
still at the beginning of the main story, I should say.
Wow, that's a big
And
chunk already. Holy, that's awesome.
I mean, maybe not, but it feels like the story hasn't progressed that much, so I don't think I'm
Well, I know. Okay,
that advanced.
I know as when I was listening to people like talk about it, a lot of them said it was around 40 hours if you were to like streamline just the main story. So I could see that. Yeah, definitely you could have
Oh
50
yeah, I've been
hours.
exploring the whole map, like every single cave and every just everything on my way. So it's going to take me more than 50 hours.
Oh yeah, totally. I was gonna say I
And
know Jimmy's a good guy, right? So he never wants to spoil anything, but like to get an idea of it, right? So okay, so what is it called? Is it a Horizon? Is that how you say it? The character themselves, like the
no, the
the
Arisen
Arisen,
one.
sorry, yeah. But like what is exactly like the story in Dragon's Dogma? Did this like, a random character always get picked so many years and becomes one of these and has to save the world, or because like obviously I
It's
didn't
it's hard
dive long into the first one, so
it's hard to explain, but basically there's every number of years there's this dragon that sort of come out of from a portal or whatever and
Okay.
attacks villages, etc. And decides, I guess, or if with one person that is super resilient to the dragon, he sort of steals his heart of that person. That's your main character, and but you survive even though you have no heart, and so the Arisen is sort of tasked and cursed with um, finding back that dragon and saving the world from a calamity, basically.
Okay.
That's the base super surface level of this because there are multiple layers to this question,
Of course.
but that's all I'm going to say
Is
on
it
that.
okay? Out of curiosity, though, is it the same dragon every time, or is this a different like boss every time?
Well, it's the same dragon from the first one, but like both stories are
Oh.
completely separate.
Okay. 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 Just to get
But
an idea.
both of them start off with a dragon stealing your heart, and then you'll have to later on fight it and take your heart back.
See, that's all I wanted to know. And I tried to ask Jimmy, and he was like, "I guess you'll have to find out." I was like, "Well, is there a dragon still in it?" I guess you'll have to. Find out. I was like, "Motherfucker, just tell
Well,
me."
he's sort of right because I'm saying this on a very, like I said, surface level, but it's more complex as that. Throughout the game, there are multiple choices that you can't back out of, really, because you don't have multiple save slots. So
Yeah.
uh, you have to stick to the choices you make, pretty much. I mean, in this second one, you can technically reload to an inn or to an inn or house that you've last slept in. That sort of acts as a
Okay.
second save. But
That would kind of take the enjoyment
otherwise, you
out of it,
can't
though. I
really
find.
reload. What?
I said that would kind of take the enjoyment out of the decision making, though. Like I feel like once you make a decision, like I usually try to stick with it because it's like I want to see how this is gonna pan out, right, or what's gonna be the consequence.
Well, it depends who you ask. I personally like those games like Metro. Metro does that as well, where you're obligated to make a choice and you can't really save scum or reload,
Yeah.
right? But if you ask my wife, she would have the complete. She hates it. She has a completely different idea of it, where she wants to see all the options and make the best one, so that she can have the choices that works for the character she wants to make, right?
Okay, that's fair. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. I
Plus
mean,
too,
she's
like
wrong, but it's fair.
I was gonna say, I can also see like from someone's point of view of like they just don't wanna like do another playthrough and clock in, X amount of hours. I could see that too. Um, I know I was super bad at doing that in XCOM. I couldn't handle losing characters. So I would just save scum the shit out of that game.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Um,
So, so in terms of, I think its best assets for this game is the combat and the exploration. So it's hard to explain this game because it's an original game that has many aspects that you could see in other games, but they don't feel the same.
yeah.
So what I mean by that is I could tell you that it's a bit like Monster Hunter where you can climb giant monsters and kill them, right? With many life bars and all that. But it also feels nothing like Monster Hunter. Like I don't like Monster Hunter, but I love Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
And so it's a mixture of multiple. It's its own thing, really. I can't really compare it to another game.
Well, I feel it
And
almost sounds like it takes like the best features, out of certain games, and
yeah,
it just kind of makes it, like you said, makes it its own, which is like awesome. I mean, an RPG is totally the best place to do that kind of setup.
a bit like Stellar Blade that I will talk after Dragon's Dogma. But yes, it takes many aspects, but it makes it its own. It's original, and thus makes a very cool original game.
See, like
So
that's
the
why I want that game so badly to win like game of the year. I mean, I know we still got a whole freaking year of stuff to come out, right? But it just, I don't know, it just sounds like they did such a great job with this game. Like it just sounds like they really like hit the nail on the head what everyone was hoping for from number
yeah,
2.
and like the combat is very action. You know, you have core skills where it's skills that are linked to your basic attacks.
Okay.
So let's say you're a fighter. Your basic attack is swinging your sword. So core skills are like, oh, I buy this skill and now I can charge my slashing if I hold square, right? They are attacks that you can do anytime that doesn't cost anything. They are linked to your combos, right? Not that you really have combos to do, but you know, you can combo skills together and
Yeah.
all that. And so there so there's that for like every oh yeah, and you can change vocation classes anytime you want in the game, and they're fairly easy to unlock compared to the first one. It's
Okay.
usually just a quest or linked to where yeah, a quest where you reach a certain place. They tell you whatever reason. I can't give you the quest for the class for now, but if you do this, you'll have the quest, the class. I mean,
I kind of like that. I like that system where you have to just do a quest to unlock a certain class
me
or
too.
character. Yeah, I prefer
Because
that.
the first one you used to have to grind a lot
Yeah.
your vocations to unlock the other vocations. So you needed to constantly do things to get XP and kill a bunch of enemies constantly. And actually, that would be a minus to the game as of now, I would say. There's not a lot of variations in the enemy. It's often goblins and lizard people.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time, that's what I've been fighting since the start. No, there's a bunch of other bigger monsters, you know, like Cyclops, ogres,
Griffins, I saw was a big
skeleton.
one that people were
Yeah,
fighting.
Griffin. That was a very cool one. And I also rode one actually,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, that was very nice. And my wife told me it wasn't possible, and I did it. So, that's the cool thing. You can't really do anything in Dragon's Dogma. So you know, if you hate this enemy, you can just pick him up and throw him off the ridge. Right? You don't need necessarily to use your attacks. Or there's some skills. For example, there's a class you unlock later on called I think it's a I don't remember, a spearman of some kind, a magic spearman of some kind. So you have a couple of magic spells and attacks with physical attacks with spear. And there's one skill where you're basically a Jedi. You pick something up with your mind and you throw it. And so that there's a bunch of skill like that. There's a skill where you bat the enemy at off the grid basically, and there's boulders you can push on the enemy. There's ogres that you can push over the edge if they're unbalanced on the environment.
So that really
So
is a
there's a
feature. That is so cool because I remember I saw that in someone's like short on YouTube. They were I don't know if it was like I think it was a Cyclops or whatever is by a waterfall, and there was like
yeah
loose rocks or something. He's like, I could probably knock this out and like knock him off his balance and shit like that. I was like, I
yeah
was-
it works yeah
wow, that is so cool. Okay, that is really impressive actually.
because depending on how heavy the enemy is and you
Yeah.
because weight and height acts on that, you can either throw enemies or hold them down or push them, and you can do all of those things. And yeah, I struggle to think stuff that you can't really do in terms of combat.
Yeah,
In
no,
terms of
that's
combat,
impressive.
really think of anything. And
How about because
yeah,
you played the first one, JW? How about
yeah.
the pawn system? Have you noticed any big changes with that one? Like, did they
Well, they're a bit smarter, but otherwise it's pretty much the same.
same? Okay, I was curious if they made any changes to that. I mean, better AI is always good too, but
And they've stopped yelling at the enemies as well. Like in the first one, every time there was an enemy, they would yell the enemy. So,
oh
Goblin, Harpy,
yeah,
watch out, Arisen Harpy! Constantly, constantly. Now they don't. You just get attacked.
that's too funny. I remember I screwed up.
I mean, they still talk too much, but you know,
Not the same
it
way.
comes with it. It's fine. Yeah, not in the same way.
I remember I screwed up because I thankfully you've watched the podcast, so I know it won't ruin it for you. But obviously on the Super Show podcast, when they were talking about the plague that happens later on with the pawns, and
Yeah.
Jimmy had no idea what I was talking about, right? And he's like, "Nah," he's like, "I think someone's lying to you." And I was like, "No, like this, like they were talking about this." And I ended up saying the link, and he's like, "Oh, you probably spoiled something for me." I was like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, but it does sound stupid. Like when you say it, it doesn't sound like a real
Yeah.
thing. But yes, it has happened to me once on one of the dragons.
Okay, good, because he
But
made it sound like it doesn't happen to the end game. I was like, no, Jimmy, I'm sure they mentioned it happens like throughout the game.
yeah, but I died and started over, so my pawn was fine afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, but yeah, the exploration as well is so great because there's no tower or to detect the map or anything. You pretty much go anywhere you want, and if you're pawn, if because in the pawn system, people can rent your pawn
Yeah.
in their game, and so if you walk around a place where this person went with your pawn, then your pawn will go, oh, Arisen, like I through my travels, I discovered there was a cave nearby. Do you want me to show you, or a chest, or all of
Oh,
those
that's
things?
cool.
So that helps with the um, the exploration as well.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
every cave is different. Like they say this, they use the same texture, but the layout and what's inside those caves are all different from one another. I haven't found one that was like super similar to another one. That was cool as well.
Wow. I'm blown away. Yeah, that's I mean that's impressive that they actually have the characters remember certain locations that they've been in. That's wicked.
Yeah, and you can train them, for example, in when you gather a bunch of herbs, they automatically, let's say, make a potion, or you
Oh,
can learn the Elvish language because you encounter elves, but you don't know their language, so it's just written gibberish on your screen unless you have a palm that knows elf.
that's cool. Wow. Like, see, I
Yeah,
get it. I could
so
totally see how you could clock in like 100 hours into that game. Like, it's like
and
almost like your perfect medieval fantasy. You know what I mean?
oh, it definitely is that. That was what I was going to say. It's the perfect mix between a normal action RPG game and a simulator.
Yeah.
So, or a survival, because I don't like survivals and simulators. They have too many finicky systems that you have to think about, and unless you die, right?
Yeah.
And Dragon's Dogma 2 has those systems without it being too obtuse or annoying to me. So it means you have perishable food, let's say. Uh, so the more you 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 take a bunch, and with time they will perish. But if you age them without perishing them, some have better benefits for in terms of bonus of stats,
Oh, okay.
getting health back, and all of that. And you can make camp outside with your pawns and cook the food and get more bonuses like that.
That's
You need to sleep as well, because with time your maximum health bar will deplete every time you get hit, or that um, if you don't sleep for a very long time, it will gradually deplete. So your character gets tired every time you use all your stamina, let's say. a bunch of stuff that makes your character tired, depletes your maximum health. Which sounds annoying, but it's really not a big deal.
I was gonna say
And
there's
so
like
you can get back, you can get that back by sleeping at inns or at camp, or it's easy to recuperate it.
yeah, yeah, no, that's a good feature. I was gonna say like when it comes like because it's got a lot of mechanics too. There's a lot of in-depth stuff with it. How did you find like the tutorial and all that? Because you did say it's pretty easy like for new players. So like, do they just kind of give you everything all at once? Was it like a slow progress that they slowly teach you everything?
Well, they sort of half do it a way I like it, and half do it another way I don't like it.
Okay.
So the way I like it is you get to sort of escape this place, and you get to a simple small town, and then you start a mission where the people they don't believe that you're the Arisen, so they have to bring you to the capital. And during that quest, during that way, you sort of get to play with these systems on the way, on the go, and they have all these moments to show you. For example, the Cyclops thing is in that quest where they they show you how you can interact with the environment against to beat the Cyclops or find new hidden caves. There's one on the way, or there's a bunch of stuff on the way that teach you naturally
Okay.
how to play. But the way I don't like it is that they keep having also box messages telling you how to play. So
Oh,
you
okay.
walk and then there's just a pop-up message that tells you if you press square, blah blah blah. I hate those kinds of tutorials.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
agree.
like I said, it's still much better than what we had in the first one.
That's cool. Yeah.
So so yeah, like I can't say enough good things about it. There's all sorts of cool things. Like for example, just recently I found a forger. So it means I can copy any item that exists in the world. Like any item, it can even be a quest item, and you can do whatever with it.
Oh,
Or
that's
if you
cool.
you see something valuable and you don't want to give it to someone, you forge it. Then you decide which one to give, and then you sell the other, for example. Or you can do all sorts of sneaky stuff like this as well.
Yeah, that's a cool mechanic too. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, like I get like some people won't like it. I mean, to me, I view it the same concept as like Elden Ring. Like this was a big game that got hyped up, so obviously a lot of people bought it and might not have been into that particular genre of games. But I think those
yeah,
that
like me.
yeah, I think those that are sticking with like yourself. Yeah, this is definitely I don't know. To me, it sounds like game of the year material. Like it just every time I hear a
Well,
discussion about it, I'm always more impressed by what this game has accomplished.
for now it is for me. Um, yeah, I'm as I look at the upcoming games, I have a hard time seeing what else it could be.
And I know
Really,
there's a lot of pitchfork talk right now, because I know Jimmy was also a big fan of it, but I just don't like. I know everyone wants Final Fantasy VII to get it, but I just don't think
no,
it cuts the mustard. I don't think it
no.
gets that title.
Especially that it's the same thing as the first one, but open world.
Exactly, right? Like you're not really getting anything new out of this. Whereas like, Dragon's Dogma 2, like you said, it's the same game, but they've done it in a different way. Like, I mean, it's a fresh take.
Oh, it's miles better than the
Yeah.
first game. Like the first game had nothing in its open world. It didn't have a lot of. It was not even an open world. It was big open levels, and it had nothing in it. It was barren. And now it's the contrary. Now there's basically something at every corner that you turn, and you can. And there's a lot of verticality to the levels actually, compared to the first one, where you'll end up finding out ways of going on higher mountains, or getting finding paths that bring you into places where you're like, oh no, I'm on top of the cave. I didn't know I could go there, and
That's cool.
stuff like that. And no, there's nothing else really. I can't stop saying good things about it.
No, no, like I said, it deserves it, and yeah, like I said, I hope the team that put that game together definitely chalk away a few awards because they deserve it. That was a
Yeah, no, I and no, like Final Fantasy VII Remake. To be fair, it's the same game as the first one, but much better.
yeah, like I mean, yeah, it definitely accomplished things, but like that's what I was saying, like to say like okay, that's it, that's the game of the year. It's like nah, I don't think so. There's definitely good competition with Dragon's Dogma too.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I mean, I'm not the audience for Final Fantasy VII Remake because I didn't really get into the first one, and it's cool that this one works for the people, but I find they're taking way too much time to complete a a story universe that used to be in one game.
Yep, they knew it was gonna be
Like
such
this
a
really
gravy.
annoys me.
Yeah, no, I feel you because they knew it was gonna be a gravy train, right? Like this was their ace in the pocket. They knew people would go crazy about Final Fantasy VII, and yeah, now they're just dragging it out like no tomorrow. Like, what is it gonna be? 3 or 4 games in total that they're gonna spread out towards?
And people keep saying, "Oh, all these cool side stuff and blah blah," and I'm like, "Yeah, but what about the main stuff?" It
Yeah.
feels like they're stretching it out,
Oh,
and the story is different. And
yeah. Okay.
I know,
That blew my
yeah,
mind. I had no idea like how fucking complicated Final Fantasy VII story was. Like I was like, did I just like ignore this all as a kid when I was playing the first one? Like I didn't know there was multiverses and different
they're
timelines.
used to not have multiverses in timeline. That's the
Okay,
remake.
okay. I was like, when the fuck did all this get into the game? Because yeah, when I was watching,
Well, since they remade it.
yeah, like we said, I never played the remake, right? But I was listening to that spoiler cast. I sent you guys to the Discord, and yeah, they were like, yeah, there's whatever it is, the lifeline, the whatever Final Fantasy refers to as heaven as, that life energy. There's like
Yep.
yeah, there's light energy Aerith, and then there's the normal Aerith, and this is happening in Zack's timeline. I was like, what the fuck are these
You
guys?
know how this sounds like?
Of Kingdom
It
Hearts.
sounds That's even better. That's not what I was gonna say, but that's actually yes, that sounds like bullshit Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna say it sounds like an episode of Dragon Ball where you have like you have this version of Boo that is much worse than this, much different than this other version of Boo or Super Saiyan or whatever character. Oh, there's this Saiyan that is like Goku, but not that Goku, and with the most recent, I guess, Dragon Ball, it is multiverses and stuff. So yeah, sounds like the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, right? And then like, man, I was listening to them talk when they're like, yeah, then Seth Ross said this, so now he was talking about this timeline. I was like, how are you even enjoying the game at this point? Like, I would have to pause and like think about everything that just happened and write notes and shit. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I said
I
that's
don't know. I sort of like the base story, and
me too.
I know I'm not going to enjoy how it's been changed. It's just that.
I feel you too. Like, I can't, like, I can maybe like name a handful of things like between movies and TV shows that have ever done a multiverse like properly. Most of the time, it just gets so complex, and you're just like, okay, I'm lost. Like, I can't keep up with this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well, it's also when you're out of creativity. Really, that's what they do.
that's
They
true.
start because then you can invent any reason to have like multiple version of this character or blah blah blah, and just anything really.
Like one thing, like I haven't had a chance to actually sit and watch. I think I only watched like a couple episodes, but the one that actually does interest me, and I'm pretty sure it's multi timelines and all that kind of jazz, is that TV show Dark. I don't know if you ever seen that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that one I want to watch
Yes, it's
still.
a very good time travel show.
Yeah, like that's one I'd actually be interested in watching.
No, I really like time travel stuff. I less like multiverses stuff. There's a difference between the two.
True. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's not only that, and I don't necessarily want to spoil anything really, but I expect that this game will try to make a super duper happy ending.
Oh yeah.
This series, this remake.
Well, again, like sorry to anyone that's not interested in hearing, skip past this part. But what I've heard right on that spoiler cast is that we haven't even seen Aerith's death yet. That's kind of how apparently the second one's ending is. Seth Roth just comes to the church, um,
Yeah,
which is stupid.
and how many parts are left to this story?
Yeah, right. It's like really you couldn't even just finish that part of the game, like.
No, but my point being, the end of the original game is the end of that second part, and they're planning a third part. So what do you expect they'll do?
I guess I think it's gonna be like 4 games, in all honesty, put together.
I think they'll just bring back whatever version of Aerith and have a super duper happy ending.
Well, again, like I haven't played it, right, so I'm just basing it off that podcast. But what it sounds like is in this version, um they took the same storyline from Avid Children. So
Yeah,
that's why you got like the I can't remember that stream is called, the live stream, wherever the hell it is. But
Advent Children was great though,
yeah, no, it was a
because
fantastic one, right? But it's just
it was a great closure to uh, Cloud's character and the aftermath of that original game without retreading old grounds. Like they made a great thing. And here I think they're making everything that I dislike. They're retreading old ground.
yeah,
They're
trying to make a
doing
new story out of it.
yeah, and they're going to try to correct the what was done in the past, right?
Yeah, like from what I understand, this new Seth Roth knows what happened before, and he knows about Avid Children and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's basically trying to change the current timeline that they're on. Sheila was just asking if they killed her twice. I guess in a way, yeah, you're right, Sheila. They did because from what I understand, they killed the live stream Aerith, and then there's still the Aerith in the current timeline that they have. But again, like as far as I understand, the Seth Roth just came through the church, and then it's almost like Halo 2. Like it had that kind of ending, from what I understand, which was another game that really pissed me off with that endings.
Well, I'm seeing this trend coming more and more where they're either making a remake of an old show or film where it ended sourly, badly, or it wasn't a happy ending,
Yeah.
and then they sort of retread these old grounds to then change it and have a good ending. And I don't like that. It feels like when they re- resurrect characters in a movie or a show,
Oh, yeah.
it's always super stupid and bad.
I mean, go back to your example, right? Dragon Ball Z. How many freaking times did Goku come back? Like, there's only so many times you can die and just actually die. Like,
Although that's a bit different because Dragon Ball is silly and they
yeah,
know it.
no, that's true. Um,
So I think because even the heaven of Dragon Ball, it's super silly,
oh,
and him
totally.
going to meeting the devil in the original, not Z series, but the original Dragon Ball, and it's super silly. So I sort of excuse it for that, but because it's not the first time I've seen this. Evangelion did something similar with its rebuild series, where it's a set of 4 movies where they retread what happened on the original series, but then changes it towards the middle of it. and the ending is much different than what was initially there. And I didn't like it. Well, I don't like this, and I've been seeing it more and more with old shows, films that are being retaken only to change and have a nice little cozy ending. And I'm not a fan of that. I like it when they stick to their guns and that it hits, right?
Yeah. Like there's nothing wrong with like a hero dying in like, just like either like a really good part of that story, right? What I guess a good example I could think of is The Last of Us Part 2, right, with Joel. But it's like, like imagine if you changed that around, you kept Joel alive, like how, like how different the entire game would have been an experience. Like, um,
Well, I'm sure that's what everybody would have wanted, but I thought, on the contrary, it was the right decision. I really
yeah.
like that.
Sometimes it's okay for that hero to die and another hero to, take on the torch and continue the
Well,
series.
not necessarily die, but that it's not always the good ending, or that the hero needs to sacrifice something and it's sort of bitter,
Yeah.
even though we saved the world, let's say.
That's kind of why
And
I don't know if it's the same or not, but that's kind of why I haven't watched the new Matrix movie. Because like I was
oh,
happy.
it's terrible.
Yeah, I was happy. Like, okay, Neo died. This is how it ends. All that kind of jazz. Um, yeah, and then when they said number 4 was coming out, I was like, I'm not pumped over that. Like, I'm kind of.
No, not only is it terrible, but they know it's terrible. It's
Oh,
been done on purpose. There's a meta line where in the movie where they say word for word that the studio, like, they're talking about WB, the
okay.
Warner Brothers studio, and they're basically saying, well, they're about to lose their rights, so we have to make something, anything, and so they prop up a giant amount of money so you can make another one, and it's either you make it or some other schmuck, so might as well make it.
That's
Or
terrible.
something,
Wow.
something like that. There's a line like that. I'm paraphrasing here, but
No, but still,
the,
yeah.
because it's extremely meta, that fourth Matrix, but it's also very bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, like just thinking about the third one, like it's been a while since I watched it, but I know it did wrap up quite a bit of that storyline.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Like I would rather have the sour note ending, left going like, oh man, I wish so. Like in Final Fantasy VII, right? Like yeah, we all wish Aerith could have lived. She was a great party member, but it was part of the story, and it worked really well with all of that.
Yeah, and you would never have the Advent Children story if it weren't for that ending.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's our rant.
changing this uh, sort of erases that storyline, right?
Yeah. 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 Like I said, it's very complex, more than it needs to be for Final Fantasy VII. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry. You also were gonna say JW with Stellar Blade. I know that game was getting all the hype for probably the wrong reasons, but
No, the right reasons. No, I'm serious. I mean, I'm sure some people are getting it just for the good-looking character,
that's
but
what I mean. Yeah.
game gameplay-wise, it's very strong as well. It's more than just visuals.
I was honestly
Um,
surprised that people were a little bit shocked with the callback because I watched that trailer. That was the first thing I said to Jimmy. I was like, "Man, this looks like a Souls-like kind of game." And then it sounds like a lot of people confirmed that the combat has that style to it.
yeah, it actually shocked me a bit. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a more like Bayonetta style of game, and but it's a bit like Dragon's Dogma in the sense I can compare certain games like a Souls-like or like Bayonetta because it's a mix of both. But it also feels like none of those games. It's original, stylish game. So to explain it, um, so there's the demo that is a 1 hour demo, and the start of the 1 hour start of the game. So you can transfer your save to the game once you buy it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And the presentation of the intro is just great. The music and the sort of, it starts off with a sort of an attack on Earth, and your character being dropped from the sky like in Starship Trooper, basically in pods. And so you're there to hunt. What are they called? Amoebas or anebas, something like that, which are super uh, distorted monsters in all sorts of way. Like they have like saw as heads, and a bunch of
Ooh.
different.
Okay.
There's this giant monster that just spits out meteorites at the ships at the intro. For example, there's all sorts of different kinds of them.
That's a cool design. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you could look it up. Then the intro is great, and so the combat is a bit Souls-likey. It's a bit where you have light heavy attack, and yeah, you have the counter from Sekiro, let's say, where
Okay.
you counter and you gain energy, I think, from those counters, where then you can use as skills. And yeah, it's sort of hard to explain because it is like a Souls-like where you have these rest places where you sit down and you have a little tent with nice music, jazzy music playing, and anything to make you comfortable, and where you can buy new items, gadgets, and whatnot. But also, it's very stylish, like a Bayonetta game where you dodge, depending on what kind of hit that the enemy does, you do a certain dodge, then it becomes a bit cinematic, then you do this sort of cinematic super damage kills where there's quick time events, and
Oh, okay.
you dodge around, you can basically jump over certain hits, and it's very stylish like a Bayonetta game, but it's also very Souls-like in its approach, where you don't just run up to an enemy and combo it. You don't really combo in that way. You don't juggle with the enemy, right? In all those Bayonetta games, you can juggle the enemies. I mean, in the air, and
Yeah.
extend your combos and all that. Well, you can combo a lot and extend your combos here, but in a different ways. Not by juggling the enemy, but by timing your moves and reacting in the correct way to the enemy's attack. So, for example, the enemy, there's certain hits that where, depending on that kind of hit, you do a certain move, and it ends up gratifying you with doing an immense amount of damage. But there's like 5 different moves of those kinds, right? So there's a lot you can play with here, and the 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 visual is nice. It's interesting. I wish I would have played. I could have played more. Basically, at the end of the demo, I wanted to play more. There's
Did you try
sort
that
of.
boss rush thing that they were mentioning?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not a rush. It's
Oh.
just one boss
Oh, okay.
where they unlock a lot of your abilities late game, let's say, and then you battle that boss.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
yeah, I did it multiple times because I just wanted to figure out how these systems work, which move, and all that. I was angry at first because I kept dying, but ended up pulling through, and because I had to change my mindset, because like I said, I thought it was a Bayonetta kind of style, so I kept jumping in and trying to juggle enemies, but embedded getting hit and dying, and
Yeah.
so it was harder than I thought it would be. But it's not hard. It's just slightly challenging. So if you're careful, you're fine.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know a lot of
And
people said it was easier than like a Dark Souls game, but
for sure,
it still had
yes.
that nice little edge to it, little challenge. Um,
Yeah, if you're not careful and you just jump in, for sure you'll get wrecked. Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, for those who don't know, that is pretty high praise for JW to give. Like I said, there's not too many Souls games out there that I know that you're into, other than like Bloodborne and things like that.
Yeah. But
Um,
again, it's not completely
no, no,
a
not completely.
Souls-like
Yeah,
because, like I said, we compare it to these games, but they feel nothing like these games. It's really like its own thing.
yeah, just reminiscent of some mechanics or some features in those games.
Yeah, exactly. And the animation actually of the characters is are very nice in general. Seeing like there's certain move where if you do it, if you do a certain set of combo moves, you're starting to do moves in the air. So if you pull it right, the enemy might do an attack and you jump over that move while you continue your combo, and it feels great, right? Or when you parry as well, it's just the sound and the parrying is great. So I've tried it. There's three types of modes
Okay.
in terms of graphically speaking. So I've tried them all. There's like the high fidelity mode, the graphics mode, right, where it's super 4K pretty, but you're like at 30 FPS. You have the balance mode where it's apparently lower than the fidelity mode, but also it's like the in between graphics and performance mode. So you'll have a 60 FPS, but I don't think it's locked at 60. I think it might be inconsistent, but I haven't seen any inconsistency in balance mode.
Oh, okay.
And in performance mode, it's the ugliest, but it's the lock at 60 frames, right?
Yeah.
And I found that like I usually like playing at high fidelity, have very good graphics. I don't mind the 30 FPS usually, but this time, I didn't think it was good. Like it was very much. I think it was much harder to play. I found with the 30 FPS lock high graphics. When I put it to balance, it played much better, much better. And there's certain games like that. For some reason, I don't know if it's something with the animation,
Let's say, yeah, I remember we had a little
how
conversation about
frames
that,
are
right?
made.
With
Yeah.
does every single game need to be 60 frames per second? And I
So
think
this
you put it
game I
well.
find needed that performance boost. That 30 FPS really made it hard.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think you put it best, right? Like certain games, depend on that feature, where not every single game that comes out, right, or even older
Yeah.
games need to have that 60 frames per second.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, so in general, all this to say it's awesome. Um, there's not a lot about the story we know really,
I was
so
gonna
it's hard
say,
to say
yeah,
on that front.
because you said you liked the intro, so I was curious, what that world or that lore setting was all about in the game. But I guess, yeah, they didn't give you too much, just for an hour-long demo.
Well, I mean, you can do assumptions because there are symbolism, right, that are not very what's the word I'm looking for? They are very obvious. That, um, for example, your character is called Eve, and your sort of partner is called Adam,
Oh,
and
okay.
the intro starts with these sort of giant Zeppelin types of ships that are completely white with wings, so angelic, right? So you fall from the sky and to save Earth. There's some you can assume a lot of the themes that are there, but there's not a lot to chew on right now. So it remains to be seen how it develops.
Yeah, yeah.
But the guy is a big fan of Yoko Taro, so maybe he'll try to subvert the expectations once you get deeper in it.
See, it's nice because like
So
this is kind of like what I was hinting at the beginning of the year with the podcast. I said I felt like there wasn't going to be like a lot of like I mean there's a decent chunk of games. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like we're gonna get like a lot of decent titles coming out this year. Just like I said, just based on what you're saying, right? What you played so far, it sounds like yeah, there's been a lot of interesting games. That's the best way I guess to put it. There's a
yeah,
lot of
from the start, I haven't had this much fun with games in a very long time. I would say,
yeah,
starting from this year. I mean, even Tekken 8 was great
yeah,
to play
yeah.
with,
That's a great show too.
and like I keep getting new games that are very different from one another and very good. It's not all shooters or all they're all very different. Stellar Blade being this action game and Dogma being this big open world RPG, Tekken 8 being this fighter, um, Helldivers being this sort of squad team shooters, and it's just I think we've been lucky,
Yeah, me too.
and more to come. There's the Star Wars Outlaw coming
Yeah.
in August, which I'm extremely surprised. I have to say that it's coming this early.
Yeah, I did think that was
I
going to be
wouldn't be
another year
surprised if it
away,
gets.
but
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed, unless they absolutely need it to be released because they're not making any money with their Skull and Bones.
that's true. Yeah.
I say this, but I think they've made a lot of money with Mirage. So
Even like I know it hasn't been too much hype because it was a game that came out I think kind of in the wrong time frame. But Alone in the Dark, I'm interested in trying out and
oh
seeing
yeah,
what
me too.
that.
It's in my wish list.
Yeah,
I was sort of scared though of the bugs and how janky it seemed.
yeah.
And I remember playing the demo being riddled with bugs.
Like I watched
And I
Jimmy play about an hour and a half, and I could say I didn't notice anything. And I think he's like recapped it with me and said the same thing. And so far, his experience has been okay, but it could just be unique, right? But he might be lucky.
yeah, and he told me that as well. Yeah, which I was surprised with. It's possible. And but yeah, no, it's in my wish list.
I say I must have lived
But
under a rock when that game was announced because I totally didn't even realize that the guy from Stranger Things was in there. when
oh yeah, well him and the girl from Killing Eve is in there as well.
oh okay,
Jodie Comer. She's a really good actress. I really like her actually.
yeah, and it was cool like watching him like play because, I can't remember his name in the show now. Cooper or oh no, it's not Cooper. Um,
No, that's Twin
Hopper.
Peaks.
Yeah, thank you. Hopper, like
I mean, it's a much better show, but sure.
he has like that same like personality and everything. Like it was neat. It was just neat seeing that character in a completely different setting, right? Same horror idea, but yeah, just different setting. Yeah.
Yeah, plus detectives in the 30s is a cool thing
Oh,
for me. So
such a yeah.
it's like in my wheelhouse.
I know. I feel you. It's
but
such a cool era for that.
but it came out at the same time as Dogma 2, so it had to be put on the side.
Yeah, like I'm.
That and Rise of the Ronin as well. They all came around the same time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, that one too. That one seems to be doing relatively well as well.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from it actually.
Really? Yeah. Oh no, it's just the people I'm following on Twitter. Yeah, it seems.
Possible. I mean, I've never been a big fan of what is it, Ninja Theory games in general. Like they're known for their big action. No, Team Ninja. Sorry,
Team
not
Ninja,
Ninja Theory.
yeah.
They're known for their big action titles and all that. But I always found that there was no impact when you would hit something. It felt like you would do a bunch of hits going through butter. It was super smooth, but there weren't really any impacts. In general, I find that with all their games. But I mean, I'm looking at the reviews now, and it's apparently a good game. I mean, nothing, not a great by any means. Like 10 out, there's no really 10 out of 10. Most people are saying it's like a 70% type of game. So, it's good.
Yeah,
It's solid.
it's like a decent play. The other one I was
But from what I could gather, it seemed like a mix between like Neo and Ghost of Tsushima, which seems weird, but they
yeah.
can make it work.
I know, yeah, it is kind of like a weird mashup, eh?
Oh, I mean, Bayonetta mixed with Sekiro is a weird mashup, and it works for Stellar Blade. So,
That's true. I see the other one. I never played any of the other titles that came out for it, but I am a little bit interested in that South Park game that came out. Though I'm confused. I thought it was gonna be like how the other ones are, but it looks like that's more of like I don't know what you want to call it, like a PvP game. It
I have no idea. I don't know. I
yeah,
haven't followed that one.
it just I don't know. It always catches me off guard in South Park games, so I always kind of look out for them. I because I didn't play the other two that came out this year. I played the tons of the older ones. But yeah, I guess it was
Well,
more,
then, what did you play this year?
more Dark Souls.
Of course.
um, and then like I said, what was that? That Bladed Glory. I finished that one up. That was pretty decent. That was a good like quick 3 hour indie game. Um,
Right. I was trying to replace it in my mind. Yeah, with the nice looking art style, right?
yeah, like the art style held up. The frame rate thing did continue throughout the game, so I mean, I guess that could be a miss for some people, but like, it basically just happens at the start when you go to a new stage, and then as I guess the game catches up, it works itself out, and yeah, it's not the end of the world. There's no boss you're fighting where that mechanic happens, and yeah, it's not the end of the world. Um, Yeah, I've just honestly, I'm just like I told Jamie, I'm just really trying to finish up some of those games I've had on the backlog for too long. Red Dead 2 is another one I want to finish up this year. Yeah, thank you, Tommy. Nobody Saves the World. That's another one I want to finish up too. Um,
Conquer Bad Fur Day.
yeah, no, 100% Conquers Bad Fur Day. Um, yeah. Oh, I'm so frustrated. I tried to figure out like why. I was like, why have I so fucking lost in this game? How long has it been? And I looked back just to see, and it was like 2 years ago was when I played Conquer's Bad
Oh
Fur Day.
my god.
Yeah, so that's why I'm struggling so hard to remember anything. I'm like, fuck, I wonder if I should just make another save file and just kind of like mess around a little bit, just so I kind of know where all the money bags are, and then I can go back to my main file and just um, get that last 100 freaking bucks that I'm missing out on. Um, like that's a good game, and I think that's honestly where I'm getting the negative from it right now is just I've waited too long in between playthroughs. Where
Yeah.
I'm at that point now where it's almost better to just either watch somebody play the first part of the game and kind of refresh my memory, or myself go through it. Because yeah, like
Well, the hard thing is that
it's
it's sort of a main hub world that separates into all sorts of levels, but you always come back to that section. So
exactly.
you're always intersecting with the same places, so it's hard to remember um, what you did and if you took that money bag along past on that level or if it was blocked or. No,
Exactly.
I totally get that. Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, I still have the same opinion I think on that game, as I did when it was first brought out and people were talking about it. I'm shocked they haven't done more with that series.
I'm not.
I think it was good. It was
It, it
really good. Like
it's Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's just too offensive for today.
yeah, yeah, that's true too. But it's
I
even
mean, I would love to have a return, but it's owned by Xbox, and they would never ever bring it back because it's too offensive.
It sucks
unless
too, right? Because they
they.
did the live and reloaded. So you think like at least in that timeline they would have, tried to make a sequel. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Live and Reloaded didn't do good, and because usually when they do a remake, they want to see if they can make a sequel.
Yeah.
And the remake is like the putting your toe in the water, right? You're verifying if there's an audience for it. So maybe because at the same time I didn't have a 360 back then when it came out, so it's possible I just missed it. But I don't think it made any waves when it came into 360.
No, you're right. It was like I said, I'm trying to think of the people I was hanging out back then. Like a lot of them played it just because it was like, an edgy N64 game and like those people were excited about it, but like, unless you played it like you said, it was kind of like, "Oh, okay, what's this game?" Looks like a kid's game. I'm not going to play it.
Oh yeah, I remember playing it for the first time because it is my childhood game. That
Yeah.
game, like I've did it multiple times. I spent so many hours in the multiplayer. I've done everything right, and I remember the first time thinking it was just a normal game. Like I didn't know it was a M-rated comedy or anything,
Yeah.
and I was shocked at seeing this Nintendo logo being chopped off when you start the the game. Because when you start the game, you usually have the Nintendo logo that comes in
Yep.
of the N64, and so this time you see the N64 logo sort of dance around. Then you hear a chainsaw in the background, and you see the logo just get split in two, splintering everywhere, with this red squirrel just saying bullshit as he cuts up the Nintendo sign and says, "Oh, I have a much better logo here," and then puts the rare sign over it. Like it was hilarious,
Oh
and I,
yeah.
I just I had never seen anything like it. And then, of course, it just got worse and worse after that. The squirrel that fucking drunk
Yeah.
and can't get home and lies to his girlfriend about saying, "Oh yeah, he's met somebody, old veterans that he went to war with," which he never went to war. It's just a lie. And of course, that doesn't pay for him because he wakes up not remembering where he is or anything, and he needs to make his way home. And it's just so much bullshit that ensues after
Yeah.
that. Just an insane game.
And it's funny, like you like there, like if I know I've talked to you before about this, right? But there's like a good way to do that kind of offensive comedy, and that game just nails it every time,
Yeah,
every encounter. Like like we were joking around when I passed her, right? But the big booby flower lady, she's hilarious, right?
but yeah,
The
yeah.
poo was amazing. Like I was so happy to fight him and just experience
Can
that
we
whole.
clip that? Can we clip that for Mindful? The poo was amazing.
Like, oh, I was really looking forward to that part because like I always heard that boss battle. I was like, man, I got to experience that boss battle, and it was good. It was worth it. Um, oh, what was the other one
I'll
there?
flick my shit
Yeah.
at you.
Oh god, what was the other one? The barn scene. I remember. I think it was I don't know if it was a squirrel or what was in front of those two big rocks, but I remember they ended up like splattering it on the ground. Like it was very graphic death.
Oh yeah, every death are graphic death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's funny, right? Like even though I was frustrated, those stupid like weasels wouldn't let me pass. It was still hilarious that they had like that charm of like a Disney henchman, just really stupid and not knowing what they're actually supposed to look out for. Like I love bad guys like that, where the main bad guy is like he's supposed to seem smart, but he's really not that intelligent, right? He's just really cunning, and his henchmen are always like ridiculously dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good game. It's honestly a good game. I know for me, I just like I said, I'm bad at platformers, so it's gonna take me a while, um, but it's
But you
enjoying.
need to find that last 100 cash now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna focus on that. But yeah, It,
But take a guide with you. It will help to go to every sections and see.
I kind of honestly miss like not having those official guides I used to get back in the day, because that'd be a game that'd be cool to have that for.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, but yeah. Speaking of other games too, the other one, as I said, I'm super excited to try is No Man's Sky. Like I said, I
Yes.
just want that experience so bad, just to like I'm hoping I'm not gonna hype it up too much for myself, but like I really want to just drop on a planet and just fuck around and just kind of like explore and interact with the wildlife that's on there. I'm hoping that you know let
Yeah,
me.
that's what I was expecting from it, and really liked it, loved it. And you really like Fallout 76, so you'll probably love this.
Yeah, it's a much better experience.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
um,
No, but in terms of games were that came out unfinished, then got updated
yeah.
to be better, I think No Man's Sky did a much better job.
Oh yeah, no, totally right. When that game started off as, and now what it is today, it's amazing.
And they're still going. It's insane. They're even working on a second game, not No Man's Sky, but Campfire, I think, or I can't remember the name.
Oh, okay.
Like they had announced it at the Game Awards, where they're working. Like it looks like a No Man's Sky, but for the fantasy world. It's called Light No Fire, but instead
Ooh,
of having a bunch of different planets, you have one giant planet with a bunch of different locations on them.
that's cool. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, and I believe them this time.
Yeah, exactly. I think they learned from their mistakes.
Well, it's because they've already done having quintillion planets, right?
Yeah,
So if now they concentrate on only one planet and have a bunch of stuff in it, it's very feasible because they've done way bigger before.
Sheila gave a good shout out too. Actually, speaking of offensive games, she mentioned Destroy All Humans. Which yeah,
Oh yeah,
that was really good, and that one actually touches on what JW was saying. Because I know that game got what was it, a remake or you want to call it?
yeah,
Right?
reprobed.
Yeah, and it did not do as well. Like I mean,
Well, it didn't age well, I think,
yeah,
as much mechanically as in its humor, because uh, I think it's out of touch for someone today to play it. I think
yeah,
they would think of it as out of touch, or not of this time, because it's a lot of humor about hippies and conservative, which is a very
exactly.
older thing that is not a thing anymore. I mean, we still have hippies, but it's not a big
Yeah, it's not like it was in
political
the.
things anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a good example of a game.
But the second one has multiplayer, split screen multiplayer. So for just that alone, I think it's worth it to play it with your friend or girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. I forgot you had that feature. Uh,
But yeah, even mechanically speaking, it's very older.
it's dated. Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I remember God, it must have been like 4 years ago now or something like that. I did end up dabbling back into that game, and yeah, it was one of those moments right where your nostalgia kind of hypes it up more than when you actually are playing it. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
okay, this
Yeah,
isn't as good as I remember.
yeah.
And then Tommy was just saying, as far as Rare goes, he's hoping that another Banjo Kazooie would come out. I like that game, but I never beat it, Tommy. Um,
Yeah, same.
yeah,
I mean, I always liked it, but I never loved it.
yeah, exactly. It was a good
Like
idea.
everybody goes crazy for it, but it was good, but I never finished it, and I wasn't enthralled with it.
Yeah, it's like I played it, like I had my experience with it. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm gonna move on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There are some people that just went nuts for that game. Um, no, Sheila, there is. I guess there's not really a. I guess no, it is a remaster of Conker's Bad Fur Day. But if you want a better or updated version, or we want to call it, it's Conker's Bad Fur Day Live and Reloaded. I think it was labeled as.
Yeah, on Xbox 360.
Yeah, on the 360. So that would be your remaster of Bad Fur Day. Um,
Although I always thought it looked weird compared to the colorful N64 game.
yeah, it's
There's
more
like
like
a,
dark and edgy, right?
I don't know. It's like a weird. I don't want to say cell shaded because it's not cell shaded, but there's this weird. Like if they change the art style or something, and like you said, it's less. It's like colorless somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
It always look more disgusting than the previous version somehow. But it might just be my nostalgia as well.
Um, hey Z Chick. Oh, Z Chick says hi to you too, JW. Um,
I I wish I think I wish I had an N64 just for to play that game. Only to play that game. I wouldn't have any other game than this one. Plus it had split screen multiplayer, which was a great fun.
oh man, with the N6.
But the game is like $400 because it's super rare now.
Oh wow, really?
Yep.
Holy shit! That's like
My
that other game I saw that was listed. What is it? Silicon Valley. I'm surprised how much that one costs now too to play.
Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I think in the N64 era, I think you really would have enjoyed that one too. It was just a really like wacky platformer. Um, how do I say it? Not like crude humor like Conquer, but more of just like the mechanics in the game were really bizarre. For what I remember, it's been a long time, but I believe you were like a little chip, and this chip could go into like different animals on each planet, and like you could control that animal, and you would they're like almost like animatronics, I guess. But you would complete the level by whatever character you took
What
over.
the fuck? I've never played this.
Yeah, it's pretty. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty unique game. Oh yes,
Nice.
Silent Hill. Yeah, Sheila, that one definitely would be a lot of money for the PS1. I could see that. And thank you, Z
Of
Chick.
what Silent Hill?
The first Silent Hill, she's saying for the PS1,
What about it?
costing $300.
Oh, really?
I could see
Okay.
that. That was a big cult finding. Um, what was there? I was gonna say too? And Clay Fighters, 63 to third. That one was really fun on the N64. I had so many because I think at that time we used to go to Zellers with my mom, and they would always have those little like bargain bins. I can't remember what the hell they would call it, like collector's choice or whatever. But basically, if it had that mark on it, it just meant that the game was $20. So I had so many games I got back then for the N64. It was such a good deal. And then sometimes they'd have a sale; they put it down to $15.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at flea markets and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was like a 50-50 chance of not working.
Yeah, exactly right. Chance will get burned on it. Oh, I have to like it'll take too long right now to look it up, but there was a game I played on the Dreamcast, and I think it was available on PC as well. Um, and because you like that kind of silly humor, I think you'll like this one too, JW. I think it was MGK2. I think that was the name of it. Basically,
MGK2.
yeah, I think that was the title of it. But basically, there was a professor you could play as. There was a dog with four arms, and I know there was a third character. I don't know if it was a robot or what, but like,
Or is it MDK2?
or maybe MDK2. Yeah, maybe it's that. Um,
Okay.
it was a really like that one had the Conqueror's humor to it. Like example, I think it was something stupid like you could pick up items in the game and you made weapons out of them. So like you could take up like dirty toilet paper and plungers, right? You can make like a shit gun almost. And then like the dog was like this badass. I think he had like an eye patch and he had like a cigar in his mouth and he had like 4 Uzis in his hands. And yeah, you were just like,
It does sound like Conquer.
yeah, it was really cool. Like you would like you take on aliens and stuff, and yeah, that one was really neat. If it was
It's like there's a level in Conquer, in the multiplayer level. There's a level where there's toilets, and you cannot shoot your weapon in these toilets. You can only piss on the other person, and
oh
you can
my
kill them
god,
with your piss.
that's great.
So then it turned into literal pissing contest. So
Oh my god, that game is amazing.
yeah, back when you could, back when it wasn't decided by committee and that you could do anything.
Exactly, right? Just have fun in a game.
Yeah.
That reminds me of like South Park, the N64. You could have the snowball, and then you had the option where you could pee on the snowball, and it was a piss ball, and you could throw those instead for extra damage.
Yeah,
um, Postal, yeah, I haven't tried Postal, Sheila, but I know, yeah,
that's
that
true.
one's supposed to be pretty hardcore too. There was another one too. I'm trying to think of. Um, Someone brought up during one of my streams, and like I can picture because it was a TV show, and I don't know if it was called Stupid Invaders or something Invaders. It was like
The invaders. Oh, do you mean Zim Invader or something?
no, no, no. It was like, oh man, it was definitely from the 2000s. This show, and it was like four aliens, that were just like dumb or whatever. I'll have to look it up, and I'll post in the Discord when I find it. But yeah, it was kind of like a crude humor game too, where you went around, you did whatever kind of objectives, but like the humor was very raunchy and stuff like that, and it was just like these four aliens. And again, it looked like a kids show, but it definitely was not a kids show. I'll have to look that one up. That was a good one too. Um, but sorry, I was gonna ask you, JW, because it's also been a little while. I know you've had a lot of games under your belt, but while there's a chunk of people in here, is there any updates you want to give about your writing or anything new that you wanted to shout out as far as your Discord goes? Because I know you've been working hard on that stuff.
Yeah, no, I have currently a story where I try to at least every max 2 weeks to update. So I'm releasing chapters of like 10-minute reads of that same story. That I'm currently releasing a horror story where this Nicholas, this bullied teenager in high school, uh, is part of a town where there are missing children that are starting to all go missing, and
Okay.
some of them are his bullies. So he's a bit glad with this situation, right? And but his best friend wants to start investigating it, and he didn't want to. He'll want to sort of counter that, and so and there's all sorts of weird paranormal stuff happening as well. He seeing weird dreams and uh, weird entities around him. So
Ooh, I
there's
like that.
I've been yeah, I've been slowly churning out every 2 weeks updates of that 12 chapters. I'm up to 3 now, and I finished just before the actually well just before podcast today. This fourth part, I just need to correct a few things and then release it this week. But I'm going to release it this week for sure.
And sorry, I did shout it out, but the link tree that you have, that one's a good resource, right, to access all that stuff.
Well, actually, now I've changed because now I have a website.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'll have to update that one then.
Yeah, no problem. It's quite new, actually. My best friend made the website, and it's quite simple. It's jwfoster.ca.
Ooh, cool. Okay. That's awesome. You got your own website.
Yeah, I was super surprised when he came up with me to me with this.
That's not the same one
And
that you were gonna originally do a comic book with, right? It's a different person you're talking about.
yeah, it's a
Oh,
different
okay.
person. The comic book is progressing. I've seen new pages being drawn up, but
Nice. Okay.
I don't know when it will be over, finished for sure. Um, so yeah, and I'm progressing on that novel as well, correcting everything that needs to be corrected. Um, been working hard for many weekends on that one. So. But the one that gets the most updated is the horror stories on Wattpad.
Again, man, hats off to you. Like you managed to take on these huge ass games. You know, you got work and obviously your own life going on, but you're still pumping out those stories. That's impressive.
Oh, for sure. Well, I need to, otherwise I don't sleep. So,
Yeah, yeah. I remember you said yeah. When the idea is in your head,
well,
you have to write it.
it's a bit of a curse because you start doing it, then you can't stop doing it because you want to complete it, but then there's something else. But you also and if you're just like, oh, I'm going to stop, then you can't stop thinking about it, and then it's just a curse, really. Can't sleep, can't function because you keep thinking about it. So then you need to write it somewhere. Then you do it. Then you start over with a new idea, new story, new whatever.
See, chick agrees. With you. She's like, I know that rabbit hole all too well.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you had one more here from Sheila. She just wanted to say, have you ever seen Dreamed Away? Or if you haven't, she thinks that you might enjoy that one. I believe that's a
Dream
movie, right?
away.
Yeah, that's a movie, right, Sheila? You're talking about? I feel like that's an anime. I could be wrong. And then, sorry, Tom, what did you say there? There was crude humor even in Super Nintendo, like Earthworm Jim and Booger Man. Yeah, yeah, I remember those ones. What was it? Clay Fighters had Booger Man in it too. Tommy, if you ever had a chance to play that one. Um, oh, Sheila said it's a game. Sorry.
Dream away the game. Dream away video game.
Hey, sleepy.
Oh, it's a Kickstarter game, I think. Okay, I
Hello,
see. Hi.
How's it going?
hello, hello. I am dead.
Um, how's everything been going, Sleepy? It's been a long, long time. I had to think for a second. I was like, when was the last time I had Sleepy on the
Yeah.
podcast?
Um. I just been like busy with work and life, and like I'm still trying to pass my exam for my license. So I've been studying. Like I've been. That's that's why I don't. That's why I try to like stream as much as I can. But like or like do late night streams, just like I'm like studying like basically 10 hours, like 10 to 12 hours like each and every day.
Ouch! Wow.
Um so it's just like which is surprisingly how I find very surprising that people are actually on Twitch at like 11:30 to midnight. I'm just like, what the fuck? Aren't you not supposed to be sleeping? Like, go to bed. Like, fuck.
I feel like it's a good hour though to
Um,
stream, right? Because there's not many streamers out there in the later hours, right? I mean, like different time zones, obviously. Um, but yeah, you probably get quite the unique viewers popping on that you wouldn't access at other points.
yeah, like I feel like ever since I kind of like slightly branching away from just streaming Valorant, I feel like I did more people like talking when I play Valorant, but like for like friends who show up on stream, they would like talk and chat and stuff like that while I'm playing like either DVD or I'm playing like Phasmophobia. I'm trying to get Lethal working on OBS because for some reason OBS does not like to register Lethal for some reason, and I'm just like, wait the fuck, because I really want to stream it because I know majority of my friends would enjoy or have a kick up of me freaking cussing the name jump scared like like for Phasmophobia. For lethal. Sorry, for lethal. Because I kid you not, when I'm playing it off stream, on stream I try to be like more kind of family friendly without cussing as much. But like with lethal, I'm like, what the fuck, And it's like, I'm like, holy shit, like help me, like very, very out of context stuff. Especially with the friends I play with. Like when I'm running away from a monster, I'm all like, oh fuck, it's like hell funny. A few of my friends like, I never heard you cuss so much in my life. And like, these are friends that I've been friends with for like 5 to 6 years to like 12 years, and they're like, Sleepy, I never heard you cuss so much. Besides, ever since you started playing this game with us, like, it's the most time I ever heard you cuss ever. And I'm like, oh, they're like, you should stream it, because I feel like a lot of your viewers will like laugh, especially like with your online friends. I feel like they'll laugh too, because like when you stream, you're so bubbly and you're like trying to be nice. And I'm like, I think my friends are gonna look at me sideways. They're like, Sleepy's cussing so much right now.
That's true.
But
It could be like a cool gold even hit, like so many followers, and see Sleepy on a different side.
yeah,
more
no,
edgy.
yeah, more like, I literally cried the first time I played Lethal,
Oh.
because like I thought one of my buddies were following me, but they're so quiet. I'm like, why aren't you talking? And like, we're on in Discord, so we all like mute in Discord, so we do talking game. And then like one of my friends like unmuted themselves to like, Sleepy, that's not me. I'm like, and I will play with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend just run past me. He's like, run. I'm like, what you mean? That's our friend. And I die, and I was like, you're stupid. I'm like, I literally got jump scared by the freaking mimic. And I kid you not, I started breaking down crying on Discord. I'm like, oh my god, that's so scary. I hate this game. Fuck this game. I don't want to play anymore. But it's so addicting, because I will see like one of my other friends that's a streamer. Like when he's playing, like I'll hit him. I'm like, can I play with you? Let me join.
Well, I was gonna say, I think I could be wrong, but I think Sheila has played that game on stream. So Sheila, if you're kicking around, maybe if you have any suggestions with OBS, maybe you could fire some out to Sleepy to give her a hand.
Yes, please. It's like I don't know why, because usually my chat shows on stream. Lately, like I think my OBS is kind of just effed up. Just like when usually my chat shows on stream, and now like I don't see it on stream. I'm like, well, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? So I'll probably mess around with OBS and see what's up with it.
So I say, for those that don't remember, you branching out from Valorant and Genshin Impact is pretty big. So how's it been? Like,
I'm surprised.
yeah, like how's it been not playing those games and trying out different ones? I mean, obviously you seem to really like Lethal Company.
Well, Lethal is so fun, especially I have one of my friends who's the streamer. His name is I'm pretty sure you guys know him or not, but the All Maya Rainbow.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
He's a super chill dude. He's super funny. Like he's the reason why I got to Lethal, because he's like been nonstop bugging me like, Sleepy, play Lethal with me. I was like, okay. So eventually I was like, okay, I'll play. But his mods are so fun. They're like anime mod. Like he has anime skins where you change into, which is super fun. And it's just like, I don't know. He's a super chill dude. I have him when I do play Phasmo. I do have him like on Phasmo with me, and he do the most stupidest, crazy shit ever. He was like, he would break the Ouija board to activate a hunt, and I'm over here like, dude, I'm not at the house yet, and he's like, I'm like, oh my god, and like, or he used a cursed object to like purposely die or see the ghost, and it's just like, okay, it's really fun. I'm like, I'm constantly dying because of him. I'm like, because he used a cursed object when I was still in the house, and he didn't know I was still in the house when we were playing Phasmo. And then he's like, "Ghosty Ghost, come here," or like, the little box to hear the ghost. He's like, "Are you young or you old?" type of thing. Very nice. And then he goes, "Are you pizza?" I'm like, "Stop asking the ghost if it's pizza." What?
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like we talked about this last year, that Plazophobia, and I think it still hasn't come out yet on console.
No.
No.
That's a damn shame. I really
But
want to play that game with you. That sounds like a fun one.
it's so fun. Also so scary because I'm just like, I don't know if you guys been on my stream when I play Phasmo, but like, freaking when the hunt does when the ghost does a little event where it's kind of breathes in your headphones. I'm over here like with the mouse shaking. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, it just breathes down my neck. It's super fun though. I'm like, guys, it just like its hot breath is like fucking down my back. Run.
And the other was Dead by Daylight, right? You've been giving that one a chance?
Yeah, I've been playing with a few friends. When they're not playing Valorant, they're like, I'm not chill with the with DBD, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, it's this one night is like midnight. I'm like, I know stream some DBD and let's see what happens. And then what's more scarier, playing that scary game at midnight. So
It's funny too,
yeah.
like you think about it. What was it last year when you were with the Juggernaut and you played like your first like horror game like on stream there, and just like now how like you're mastering, like what is there is two different or I guess well Lethal Company I guess would kind of count too. So you have like three different horror games now. So it's really cool like how much you've changed into that genre of gaming.
Yeah, yeah, Valor's fun, right? But sometimes I love my viewers. I love my little community that I have. But I'm just like, but most of my community and most of my viewers are basically Valorant players.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to branch out from Valorant because, I don't want to stream Valorant all the time. And I feel like, oh, if I play Valorant, I have to stream, And like streaming Valorant for like 2 to 3 hours, I get so bored so fast.
I could see that, yeah.
So I'm just like, I think a couple of nights ago was the first time I actually switched games on stream where we were playing Valorant, and then everyone was like, okay, let's go to DVD, or like that's what like everyone's kind of be like, I'm kind of done with Valorant for tonight. I'm like, okay, let's play some DVD. I actually switched first time on stream games, which is very interesting. But
I'm actually surprised that you started. I mean, I understand it, but I'm surprised you started being bored of Valorant. I thought you would never get tired of it.
Yeah, yeah.
oh, trust me, no, trust me, I still play a lot of Valorant off of stream. The first thing I do when I come home is hop on Valorant.
I actually got back into it recently.
Really?
Yeah, I re-downloaded recently. There's new characters that I'm learning, I guess, in the practice mode and all that.
Yeah, there's a new agent that came out, and her name's Chloe.
Yeah.
She's like this Scottish. She's from Scotland, and she's I don't know. I love her voice line. It's so nice. Like but playing against her is so annoying.
Yeah, she's good.
Her abilities are so annoying. The fact that she could self-res herself and like still put her back in. I don't know. I find it's nice when she's on, on the team, but facing her, it's like I'm not eliminate you first.
Although it's a bit like Phoenix, no? I mean, it's reverse of Phoenix, but Phoenix can sort of res himself as well in some way, right?
Phoenix old basically is a Yoru clone, basically without being an actual clone. She has a little bit of Phoenix abilities with that res, or with that ult, and then she has a little bit of Reina with the dismiss. And then she has a little bit of Brim with her smokes, and a few other like agents that play smokes.
I've been wondering
Oh yeah.
actually. I've seen there's Izzo, I think the name of the Chinese character that came out where his ultimate is he can 1v1 someone in another dimension or something.
Yeah, ISO.
ISO, okay,
ISO,
yeah.
yeah.
Is he any good or?
He is, but personally, like he just like any duelist. I feel like if you could aim, if you have good aim, I think he's good.
Okay.
He's fun to play.
Because I had a hard time
But
picturing how useful his abilities were, except the wall. Like the wall is useful, but I had a hard time seeing like his shield, for example, his double tap. Because it's better to just kill both enemies than kill enemy, take shield, then kill the other enemy. If you know what I mean. It's like an extra
that's
reaction time that
yeah,
you don't need. And
yeah.
the
That's why I'm like,
1v1
if you're
thing,
good
I
at
don't get it.
aim, his 1v1 is pretty good. If let's say don't do it if you're last man standing, like a 1v like 4, because like the enemy could literally like find your body or where you like use the teleport to the other dimension and like literally wait for you to come back and knife you. But it's a really good like a 1v1 like, situation.
Okay.
Let's say like you're playing ISO and you play back after you plant spike, and then you hear them on spiking to ult where the spike is at, so you can buy more time.
Okay, that's nice.
Or if you hear them pushing like a site when you're defending, and you get ult, so you can at least get one of them out, which is nice.
And that Norwegian character, don't remember the name as well. That has
Deadlock?
nanotechnology.
Deadlock, yeah.
Yeah, is that a good character?
She's good. Like she's you could play her basically like if you play KJ.
Right.
If you play Killjoy, like you could cover flank. You could cover your back and depending on what map. But I think she's pretty good on what you might call it on breeze, because you could cover flank if you're on attacking.
Right.
But the only downside to her is that if you put like a sound sensor up, and if they're walking not instead of running, it won't pick up that they're there unless they're running.
Oh.
And it'll pick up. So there's a little loophole behind her utils.
Right.
Her ult is nice though, but the enemy team to like break their teammates free. But it takes a while, honestly. Like I personally I don't like her ult. Personally, I'm just like no. Too OP for me.
Most people I talk to they don't like her. That's why I'm asking. But anyway, sorry to just prop up like an interview like this and ask you all these
Oh no,
questions.
I like everyone knows I love talking about Valorant. You know, if you like want me to talk more, I'm just like Valorant.
Well, I was gonna actually
No, it's
ask
all
you
good.
guys, because we were talking about earlier, Sleepy, and this seems like a good game, that might give reference to it. We were saying, like how to keep a game, I guess, exciting to continue playing. So we were talking about the finals earlier, right? And why we kind of dived off that one. And you too, JW, if you have any input you want to say, because you said you re-downloaded it, but like, what is it about Valorant that just keeps you going into it? Like, so you were saying like you could come home and you're just like you want to dive back into that game, right? Like, is it the characters? Is it the mechanics? Like, what is it that actually like keeps making you want to go back into there in that lobby and go through another
Well,
slaughter fest?
I can tell you a multiple of reasons for this one. Um, first, first one being it's super well balanced. It's the most balanced game I've ever played of any multiplayer game. Meaning, there's not a OP character. I would say like there's not one character. When there's a new character, it's never like super OP and you need to have it to win games, right? They're all super well balanced and they all have their quirks and their ups and downs, how to use them, and also because the base game is a shooter more so than a hero shooter. Because yeah, you have heroes and all that, but their abilities is used more like a gadget, more like a utility or grenade. It's on the same level as a grenade, basically. It's not you take this character and you use these abilities at every moment of the game, right? And so I think there's that, and there's also it has a distinct style to it as well. There's a very nice style. Each characters are very cool. Like there's not one where I would say look terrible or that doesn't fit with the world they've created. So for me, those are the reasoning. Plus, of course, the gunplay is great, especially if you every time you kill someone, there's like this sound that gets higher and higher with every kill. So it just makes you excited to try and ace the other team, right? Just all
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
just going to finish
definitely.
with it's contrary to other games as well, where you need to take your time. Well, take your time. You can't just run and gun, right? Or mostly you can't, because your accuracy will go all over the place. So it's all about strategy and placement.
Sorry, Sleepy, you were gonna add on to that?
Yeah, it's um how JW puts it in a nice. It's in like a nice way. I would how he put it in a nice way of how Valorant is for me. The complete 180s, the toxicity.
For you, what?
Um, for me, is the toxic environment.
Oh yeah.
It's so fun hearing someone who's bottom on the scoreboard talk shit to you, and you're like, "Well, do better," you know. It's so like it's tough. It's a tough for me. Um, if I'm being on the more funnier side, it's the toxicity because you're like, "Ooh, who am I gonna meet today?" You know, like, "Ooh, let's see if they're wholesome," or you just don't have those people like it's just like okay, like or they're gonna be toxic. Um,
So
but
I played
personally,
less than you as well. I haven't encountered that many toxic people.
oh, toxic people are so fun to play with. But literally, like, I wish I was streaming at this moment. I don't remember if I was streaming or not. But out of the years that I've been playing Valorant, right, I never I never encountered of someone calling me a e-girl until like recently. I got called an e-girl,
Oh, really?
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, I am far from a fucking e-girl. Like, I'm far from it. Like, I'm like, so I'm like, I don't quite remember if I was streaming or not, but if I was, like, thank the Lord. But like, if I wasn't, it would make such good content. Just everyone that knows me, like, I'm far from a fucking e-girl. But I got called the B word in Valorant. I got someone was being like a sexist on Valorant to me. But I never once got called an e-girl. And like when I got called an e-girl, I took that more of an insult than being called a bitch or someone being sexist to me. I got so fed up. I got so mad being called an e-girl. Like it was so bad. I'm so far from it. But I think so. Not only the toxicity, but for me, it's also with each agent, right, in Valorant, they have all different like background story,
Yeah.
which makes them really unique. Um, and how
Yeah, it's
they
very
came
unique. Yeah.
into and how they came into like being a coming into Valorant. So there's no one story. There's no one story that's the same, but yet at the same time they're all well connected. The storyline is very well connected, even though they have completely different backgrounds. They have, um, you know, stuff like that, and it's also really fun. If you have a lot of friends that play it, and then you get to play with them, you get to queue with them and play it. Um, yeah, but mainly for me is the toxicity because who doesn't like people being toxic? It makes for good content. That's why I stream Valorant a lot. But
Well, I wonder, do you ever get the feeling that, there's a lot of hackers or that there's weird plays that shouldn't be happening?
oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah?
There's very question like when I play like from personal experience. There's very questionable shots when it's like that shouldn't happen, right? Because it's like I would be standing at an off angle and then the enemy would just shoot me and I didn't see them from what I was looking at. And I was like, where the fuck you came from, you know?
I'm
But
surprised because
yeah.
most of the time I find it quite fair. Like, I understand where it comes from most of the time, compared to a lot of other games where half of the time they're like, okay, it's fair, and other half of the time it's either because you didn't understand something about the game or that there's just something weird that it just pisses you off because gives you the impression the person hacked. And for some
Yeah.
reason, I don't get as much of that with Valorant.
It also depends because are you in NA servers?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you in
But I don't really
what
play rank though.
you know, I have people cheat in Swift play. I have people cheat in Spike Rush. Um, and like I think it's uh I think a year or two ago. I don't quite remember. I wasn't streaming this, but like I was playing a Swift play with my boyfriend, and someone asked, someone was actually doxing in Valorant in a Swift play, and then Valorant caught it, and it's like cheater detected. The whole red screen was like cheater detected, which I'm like,
Oh
oh
wow.
shit, that's the first time ever. Um, Valorant is very interesting because, like, as I was saying earlier, you when you hop on, you never know what type of people you are going to get on your team nor the enemy team. It's the fact that you never know who's gonna be on, and you can't really predict what type what type of person they are. I think that's what makes it lightweight addicting with Valorant for me, anyways. But yeah.
No, that's awesome. I said it's funny.
Those are my...
Just a completely two separate views on why it's such a
Yeah,
great game. But yeah, no, that's awesome.
but both love it.
Yeah. Sorry, just got to give a quick little shout out. Still Ghetto is in the chat. He just threw out that's what kind of games he was playing recently. And his was Fallout 4. He dived back into that world. Just kind of forgot what a great time it was. We were both just kind of saying that we enjoyed the base building mechanic of it all. And both shocked that Fallout 1 and 2 still doesn't have a remaster or a remake yet. You got it free on PC with Prime Gaming. Nice. Good.
Fallout 4 doesn't need a remaster or remake.
No, 4. Sorry, number 1 and number 2. The first 2 Fallouts.
Oh, okay,
I'm just surprised they never brought them back yet.
Well, because it's not Bethesda that made those ones.
Yeah. Right. It was a different company at the time.
Yep.
Sorry, Sleepy. I was gonna say because again, I haven't been on in a while, right? Did you have anything at all you wanted to shout out for your streaming, or any ideas that you're going to be doing in the future, or just anything at all for those that did get the chance to meet you in the past podcasts?
Where should I start? Definitely want to start. Like, there's so much on my mind I want to do. I just haven't had the courage of doing it yet. So a lot of people know me for Valorant. That's how I started streaming. That's how my first stream was Valorant, and from there I continuously just stream Valorant. And then, like how Mindful said earlier, recently I've been branching out to Dead by Daylight or DVD, Phasmophobia. I'm trying to stream Lethal if my OBS doesn't hate me. And I also want to get content warning, because I heard a lot of good things about content warning from a few friends, and they really want to try it, which is another semi-horror game. For people that don't know me, I absolutely despise horror movies and horror games. I'm such a chicken, but you guys enjoy seeing me this scared, so I'm trying to put more out there. But my still main content is Valorant. I'm not good at a game, but I play for fun. It's great.
Oh, that's okay. Me too.
The toxicity is through the roof, and it's just so fun to hear what people say in voice chat. But yet again, you meet a lot of really cool people on there as well. Some of my close friends I met through Valorant, and there's a lot of them, all of them are still my close friends to this day. And we play together. And if I play with my friends, I give a warning to everyone now who decides to check out my stream or hops in my stream. If I'm five stacking with my friends, I don't say out of pocket stuff, out of content stuff. Semi inappropriate, but we're all jokes. Okay, they're all fun and games. There's so many times when I'm streaming and my friends will say something sexual or whatever. I'm and they're like, "Oh shit, you're streaming." I'm so sorry. I'm kind of out there already. My friends have no filter at all.
That's okay. Those are the best.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's great. We're chaotic. My community is chaotic. It's but we're here for fun. And if you wear headphones while I'm playing a horror game, I bless your ears. I hope your ears are okay. Because I don't do kindly to horror games, but I play it anyways. For future streams, I definitely want to get into more games out there. I wanna get back into Genshin actually, and try to stream a little bit Genshin. Um, try to stream a little bit of Star Rail because I kind of fell out with those games, but I want to get back into it. I keep telling myself this, especially after I hit 100 followers. Like I was trying to encourage myself to do a face reveal or like a face cam on I keep telling myself that, oh, I do it this weekend. I do like on Sunday, like a surprise thing. But like I was sticking out.
Why is
But
that?
I'm terrified. So like I have a little PNG tuber thing that pops up when if I'm in a Discord call. Like connects with my Discord. It pops up when I talk. But I wanna do a FaceTime, but I'm just terrified. I'm not ready yet. Like I
Sure.
told myself when I first started streaming that once if I hit 100, that I'll do like a surprise face reveal cam. Hi guys, I'm here. I'm a potato. Hey.
I mean, it's all good, Sleepy. It's been 4 years and I'm still not doing it. Like, I think I have like 2 videos on YouTube and that's about it.
Yeah, but it's just I want to do it, and eventually I'm going to do it. It's just I haven't had the courage to like do it yet. Because when I stream, I'm like comfy. I'm like I have a blanket hoodie on. I have like a really warm baggy sweats on when I play, and like I have my glasses on and everything. Like total nerd. But like I feel like if I have a face cam, I would have actually had to like try in my lips and like, hey, hi, you know. But
Yeah, shout out to the Juggernaut. Like, I don't know how he does it all the time.
I don't know. Yeah, no, like if you guys want to see on how I look like for those that know me, Juggernaut has a lot of shit that we stream together.
Yes, yeah, on
So
his
it's like
YouTube channel. He has the whole stream of the day you guys are hanging out together. We did the haircuts and then you played the horror game afterwards.
oh god.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was very interesting. I would say that was very.
The haircut part was the best. I love how he was in that one. He was just being he was the difficult customer, like hands down.
It was I tell you this now. It was so hard cutting his hair when like there was no actual light. I was going based on the LED lights that he had in there,
Yep.
and I kid you not. After we end stream, I walked out to go home, and I saw his haircut. I'm like, oh god! Like,
Well, he made me laugh. I think
oh,
he
the
just
next
grabbed like a
one.
razor or something like that, and he was like freaking out. He's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "He's never seen a razor." Like,
I'm just like, I like. Juggernaut is my IRL bestie. For people that don't know, he's my IRL friend. We went to middle school together, and it's just like, honestly, I tell you this now, he has not changed over the years from middle school up to now. I feel like I changed as I became more of a hermit, but
same.
but it's also thanks to Juggernaut that I actually got into streaming and got the courage to like play Val and stream and talk. Because my first stream was bad. It was terrible. I hated it. I still have a save file from my first stream, and I was like so nervous of talking. And I was just like, I don't know what to talk about because I'm just like playing Val and not saying anything. I'm like, oh god. But now I'm just like, if I'm playing Valor by myself, I'm just like, oh shit. Well, oh. And it's just like weird ass noises while I wait for other people like to hop in stream or play Valorant. Or I just have music in the background, you know, if we're having like a vibe, a chill vibe stream day. Um, yeah. Eventually, though, I do have a face cam, but I just don't have the courage to set up yet. But eventually, in the future, I do want to do um, a face cam for the first time. It's gonna be like out of nowhere, out of blue. There's no Mindful's not gonna know. Mindful's community is not gonna know until I post it in his Discord. So no one's gonna know until I post it.
All right.
Unless you're
Okay.
unless you're in my Discord, and then you're gonna know. But like, no one's gonna know until I actually post it. Not even Mindful, and Mindful's my bestie, and he won't even know. Jimmy won't even know. I'll be out of the blue.
Nah, that'd be cool to look forward
Uh,
to.
Yeah, and eventually I'd try it out. Who knows? Maybe I'll give you guys a hint. Maybe on Halloween. Maybe on my 25th birthday this year. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah. Thinking about I'm turning 25 this year is kind of crazy. But yeah, I want to spend more to games. I want to start playing the finals because I heard the finals is fun. It's a little bit mix of Overwatch and Valorant. It's just pure craziness, but I want to play.
Well, you got two players here. I'm
Um,
telling you right now, if you ever want to try the finals, like I was just saying, I would definitely play it again if someone wanted to play it, but by myself, probably not. But yeah.
but yeah. All I'm gonna say for my last thing is if you happen like my community is chaotic, my friends are chaotic. I'm chaotic. So just a heads up.
No, that's okay. Shay is chaotic as well.
Yeah,
Mindful's girlfriend.
yes, she is. And she sits in the background looming. I'm just kidding. We were just saying that you're chaotic. Pretty much equivalent to the finger she gave me there.
But we all love her. We all love her though.
Well, you can say it's my fault. I have no problem. I mean, she'll listen to it and know it's me anyway. So
Exactly. JW says you can blame him. It's okay.
Oh,
I always
but
do.
I do want to do like an IRL stream. I keep telling myself I'll do this. I want to do an IRL stream like when I'm in Hawaii or like on vacation. That's not California.
Yeah. No, when you mentioned that before, I thought that was a really
Yeah.
cool idea to do, like as a special stream.
well, California is a great place, though. No.
No, it's not. It's boring.
I guess if you live in it.
Yeah, right. I think if you live
Yeah.
there, it's probably a different take on it. But yeah,
Then again, last time I went to California, it was like 20 years ago. So
Oh no, it's just California sucks. Hey, for those who live in California, if you know, you know. But for those you don't, it's just like California is boring. Especially where I'm at, there's nothing to do besides food, which is great, But like, it's expensive. Like, I just got gas earlier before going home, right? And gas here is almost $7. Basically, roughly $7. And I'm just like, yeah, no. So,
yeah, everything is
um,
pricey these days.
oh god, yeah.
if anything, I would love to go to Canada again. Canada was super fun for me.
See, and I have the
Oh,
same.
where did you go?
For Canada, I went to Vancouver and I went to Veronica,
Right.
which was fun.
Yeah, they are nice places.
Yeah, but we kind of went when it's like the rainy season. It was like rainy. But yeah, no, it was super fun. I would definitely go to Canada again. Um, I really would love to show you guys Hawaii. Do like Irish and like running, like doing stuff with the family in Hawaii, and like you guys need to see me just be chaotic with my family. But yeah, eventually, that's also something I want to do.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think that'd be a great like goal to have set for whatever amount of viewers you want or whatever the challenge might be. Yeah, that'd be cool, CP. I think that'd be a really cool idea to do.
Oh, I have a question for you guys. Did you
Yeah.
guys did you guys see the solar eclipse yesterday?
Sure.
It was
Hmm?
it was crap where I was. We had clouds covering the entire sky, so it didn't really affect us.
Now, what
Yeah,
about
no,
you, JW?
yeah, I saw it, but there's like one every like 20 years, no?
I think so.
I think, I
Yeah,
think, I think, I think we had one last summer, I believe.
and in
I
JW's
mean, there's a
area,
difference between a solar and a lunar eclipse, but I think solars are like every 20, 15 years.
I said your area too, JW. I think that's was one of the better spots to see it too.
Oh yeah, for
Again,
sure. Like
yeah.
there's a park in brackets, a park because it's not much of a park, right in front of my apartment, and it was filled with people.
Yeah, no, I saw it partially. I didn't get the full effect because California is like covered like halfway, like really under corners. Um, so the moon was literally covered by the corners of the sun, which is kind of shitty. Um, but I saw it. It's pretty nice. My mom was like freaking out about it. She's like walking. We were at work. We stepped outside work to see it. And anyone and everyone who walks by our shop, she said, "You want to see the solar eclipse? You want to see what's happening?" It's like,
Oh,
oh.
a bunch of people also thought it was the end of the world
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
for the
Yeah,
for the billionth time. When
yeah, no,
something is not the end of the world, this next thing is the end of the world. Then it's the next thing. Then it's the just stop it.
yeah, I saw that so much on social media about like this is the sign of the end of the world, stuff like that.
Oh sure,
Or
just like when they're saying, "Oh, the Mayan calendar doesn't go over 2012, so it must be the end
Yeah.
of the world."
Yeah, I remember
Like, oh,
that
they
one.
never thought that
yeah.
maybe the Mayans got wiped out before they could finish the calendar, you know? So,
But now I think they're going on a different calendar. I forgot which calendar specifically, but like I guess like the world's supposed to quote unquote end in like I heard this from a friend. I don't know if she's correctly, but she's like in like 7 years from now, this is gonna happen and to be end the world and everyone. I'm just like,
here's
bro, you know, we
here's the
should
thing
thought.
though. Nobody
Mm,
knows.
Well,
Nobody knows when it will end. And there's been so many catastrophes along history that the human species has survived that it will continue to go on even if something happens.
yeah, if we survive the plague and all this like different types of like diseases that happen over what 100, maybe 1,000 years that humans been on Earth, like I'm pretty sure we will adapt to anything that life decides to throw our way. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, there's always seem to be a way in the end.
yeah,
I
we're
personally
stubborn.
feel like I feel like I personally feel like the only way to wipe out the human race if like something actually big enough to like destroy our planet. Personally,
Yeah,
that's the only way to wipe us all out.
and even then, Some would be hidden underground, or like you would have to destroy the whole planet.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, maybe the only way to like destroy the human race going forward is like something actually destroy like hitting planet Earth and brutal, like completely no scraps of freaking Earth. That's personally I feel like, um, but like with people said with the if you want to go on religious terms, like about the moon resting, like you know, it's a type of rock on the moon, and stuff like that with the solar eclipse and stuff like that.
Yeah, was it
It's
always
just like
called
it's
Rapture?
very interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting and like
Hey, it's
different
fun.
different theories.
Oh yeah, it's fun to see that every 15, 20 years people will go mano reason thinking it's gonna end.
Buy all the toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly. Steal all the toilet paper before the sun gets eclipsed by the moon for 3 minutes. Oh, help.
It's COVID all over again, guys. Buy like 3 packs of toilet paper. It's like, no, it's not food that we need. It's not water we need. It's toilet paper we need.
I know, that was ridiculous. I was working at a grocery store at the time of COVID where this was all happening. The the toilet paper aisle was quite something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I love pizza.
Hey, pizza. Oops, sorry.
Oh,
Nope.
he's gone.
He always tries. 826.
Well, I have to go.
Okay.
Well,
oh,
until next time.
Of course. You have a great one, JW. Thanks for hanging out for so long.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Hi, pizza.
hey, what's up, people?
Not too
Hello,
much, buddy.
hello.
How you doing?
Oh, hope you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. I was trying to figure out what's going on. My phone was like wasn't showing buttons for like the call, so I thought Discord messed up again.
No, you're coming through good now. How's it been going though? What have you been up to, pizza?
Oh, not much. We just got off work. Yeah, I was trying to get on the call earlier, but the rain was not helping me out.
Oh yeah, no, I feel yeah. Weather could be a big factor. Um,
Yeah.
well, I was gonna wrap it up, but because you hopped in, I know you've been working on a few things, pizza. So, if you want, go ahead and shout out some of the stuff you've been doing because I know you had a few videos that you pumped out, and I know I think you were gonna do a little more streaming. You were saying so. It's been a while, at least since you've been on. So if you wanna let people know what you've been up to.
Oh, yeah, I've been, kind of doing a little bit here and there. As far as like, making the videos goes, I do have a few coming, well, it's like mainly just like, little shorts, like, little short reviews on games that I have. I'm still going to do the whole live streaming, reviewing of games, but I think right now I'm going to start doing the shorts first, and I'm going to see how that goes. So I'm going to just try a bunch of different games. It seems as though people really they seem to like the MX games. So I got those I plan on reviewing. But other than that, that's kind of really it as far as like the whole content goes.
Yeah, and like, are you gonna post like actual like shorts? I know you did a few of them. Is that what you're gonna stick with?
I might. I I think that most of the time with the games I'm playing, because I am super casual with all my games.
Yeah,
Like I know for a fact that I can't even do hardcore gaming that much anymore. So I think that doing shorts is easy because I'm super simple with what I need to know. If the game is fun, I can just say, hey, it's a fun game. It has A, B, C, and D, and then on to the next one.
No, I agree with you. I was curious because I was testing out kind of this week right now, and I'm finding that between like the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that seems to be like the best time for shorts to drop. Monday and Tuesday, I'm not getting as much of a response I found from them. So I'm just curious, like with other people that do YouTube, like what they end up experiencing with shorts. Um, yeah, just to see which ones get the most attention.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know that I'm probably going to do some tomorrow because I'm off tomorrow, so I'm definitely going to put out a few games.
Yeah.
I might do some on the weekend as well. Actually, I don't know if my last little like, well, not review, but like I just like my little, I guess, comment about the motocross game. I don't know when I posted that one, but I might try doing that on the weekends to kind of see, how the engagement goes.
Nice. Okay. Well, yes, I'm looking forward to checking that one out and hearing your feedback from it for the results.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
But yeah, sorry guys, I do have to have supper, so I have to wrap this one up. Sorry, pizza, got you right at the end there. But I'm glad you at least got to shout out your channel. Sleepy, thank you for hopping in, and again, a big shout to JW because he did stick around for a whole 2 hours and a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys have yourself a beautiful evening, and thank you all for hopping in today.
Thank
Oh yeah,
you.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully next week, or I guess when we do the next podcast, it's
Not
not
next week,
as like.
but the week after that one. I'll post the date in there for you guys so it's easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hopefully by then, it'll be a lot more clear where I'm at. Because right now we've been having, a lot of storms coming by, so it's definitely messing a lot of things up.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Like I said, I totally get it. Especially with me too, when a storm happens here, it just wipes out the internet pretty much. It's impossible to do anything.
Oh yeah. So yeah, hopefully by then, we'll actually be done. We'll be kind of getting into that near summertime. So I guess I can't wait for that.
Same here, buddy. All right, you guys. You have a wonderful evening.
Oh yeah,
You
you too,
too.
man. You
Bye.
too.
And then for the rest of y'all, here I'll just leave that menu on for a bit. Thank you all for staying around. I know that we haven't really dropped from 3 viewers, so there is 3 wonderful human beings out there that have stayed on this entire 2 hours. So thank you for that. Almost three. Remember how Mindful said it was only gonna be a 2 hour stream? Yeah, that never happens, eh? um, um, 2 weeks from now, we'll do the podcast again. So give me about a week. When it's this long in the podcast, it's usually longer for Mindful to edit. However, I do have a 2 weeks time frame now, so I might be able to get this decently done over that time. I hopefully will have a few more things uploaded to Spotify. So for my Spotify listeners, I might have some one-on-ones with Mindful Pig that I'll be uploading on there, just because I feel like there's not enough content on Spotify for you guys, or a variety of content. And right now with Jimmy, I have to kind of wait a little bit longer because he's a busy man. He's got a lot on his plate, so I don't want to pressure him by keep asking him all the time when we want to do the podcast. But he does have a fantastic idea, so we do get to that podcast. Be prepared; it's going to be a freaking awesome time. Let me tell you, he's got a really cool idea. Yeah, I think that's really about it. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer because I know it's been a long one. Because I always forget to do this. Quick little recap. If you want, I'm on Twitch. I'm on there every Monday, streaming a community night game. Tuesday is podcast day. If we're not doing the podcast, the second Tuesday or whatever, we're usually playing another community night game. Wednesday, I'm on YouTube. I'm always doing Skyrim on there. It's a good hour stream. If you click on Skyrim Adventures on my playlist, you can see the entire adventure I've done so far. I do nothing off stream. It's all on stream for that game. I also have a few PS4 games that I played on there as well. And if you go further back, you can see some mobile games. And then on Fridays, we do Let's Get Physical Friday, which I basically do a physical copy game, and I play that on Twitch. Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. um, yeah, so yeah, if you want to catch me, you can catch me at any of those. Like I said, the Two Tired Dudes podcast is always live on Twitch. It gets uploaded to YouTube and then again on Spotify. If you want to find me, just click on my link tree. It's all there. If you don't know where to get that, then just type in Mindful Pig. If you go on my what do you call it? Sorry, Twitch profile. You'll definitely see my link tree on there, along with a few other little goodies. But yeah, hope you guys have yourself a beautiful night, and I will catch you all next time. And bye.